Chosen one, you are not here by a mechanical accident of an online calculation. A higher sovereign intelligence has intentionally disrupted your field of distraction. This was done to anchor this precise revelation into your reality. And it happened at the exact hour you felt closest to giving up on your life because your silent isolation was becoming too heavy. Heaven is not in maintenance mode tonight. In the unseen realm, a scroll bearing your true lineage has been unsealed. This action is reintroducing you to a position that was locked away safely. It was established before the foundations of the material world were ever laid. You are not just a casual wanderer through the dry wilderness, because you are actually the rarest tier of the marked ones. You are the absolute favorite chosen soul of the Father. Every silent betrayal you endured over the past 90 days was not a sequence of tragic failures. It was the ancient architecture of your calling being insulated from a heavy system. And that toxic system was trying to dilute your true spiritual frequency before you could realize your power. If your spirit recognizes this authority, pay close attention. Let your presence be recorded by hitting the like function right now. This action sends this light directly into the deep darkness of this world. You can also type the words, "I am sealed," in the comments below to anchor this moment. We are about to decode the 7 structural signs that separate you from the ordinary collective so you can step into your authority. But it is sign number 4 that matters the most. The total collapse of your counterfeit sanctuaries is the very thing that breaks most warriors. They give up before they realize they were being prepared for a royal crown. Let me show you exactly what that means, because we must begin with the mechanics of this supernatural intervention. Consider the deep silence of your recent days. You have felt an invisible wall rising between your soul and the people you once loved. It feels like an extraction. You try to speak, but your words seem to lose their power in the air because your alignment is shifting away from the common noise of the earth. Your digital defense has been breached by design. For weeks, you have been scrolling through endless distractions while searching for a single answer to your unspoken grief. You thought you were just killing time, but the Holy Spirit was actually directing your steps toward this precise sanctuary because this message fought through every layer of spiritual interference to find you. Think about the path that brought you to this moment. You have been carrying a heavy weight in secret. No one around you understands the true nature of your internal battles. They see your external life, but they cannot comprehend the fire burning inside your spirit because you have felt completely alone in the middle of a crowded room. That deep loneliness is not a curse from the dark forces. It is the immediate result of a divine decree that was spoken over your name. The Father has placed a sacred hedge of protection around your awareness. He had to separate you from the group because they were beginning to drain your spiritual reservoir before your season of elevation. Your insulation is necessary. The world calls your isolation a form of rejection. They think you are losing your social momentum. But heaven looks down and calls your isolation a season of intensive incubation. When a master artist wants to create a priceless masterpiece, he does not work in the middle of a chaotic marketplace because he requires absolute quiet. You are that hidden masterpiece. For many years, you have been hiding your true light to make ordinary people feel comfortable around your presence. You minimized your insights. You quieted your voice. But that season of hiding is coming to an immediate end because the frequency of the earth is changing rapidly and you must step out. Let us establish the primary promise of this revelation tonight. By the time we finish walking through this journey, you will have a clear blueprint of your destiny. You will finally understand why your past had to be so painful. This understanding will wash away the residual shame you have been carrying for errors you did not commit while you were wandering through the darkness. You have been asking the wrong questions for a very long time. You keep asking why people walked away from you when you needed them most. You keep wondering why your financial breakthroughs always seem to stall at the very last minute. The answer is simple: because God is protecting you from building a kingdom in a land that is destined to fall. The favor of the Almighty is a dangerous thing to carry. Most people think favor means an easy path with no friction. They think it means constant applause and material comfort. But the true history of the chosen ones tells a completely different story, because to be highly favored by God means to be highly tested by the fire of the vast wilderness. Think about the royal lineage you belong to. Think about the ancient pioneers who carried this same internal burning through the dark ages. They did not fit into the structures of their time. They were hunted, and they were misunderstood by their own families, while they held the keys to the next reformation of human consciousness. You are the modern continuation of that royal bloodline. The spiritual DNA inside your soul is crying out for absolute reality. You can no longer tolerate the superficial scripts of modern society. You are tired of the plastic smiles, and you are done with the transactional relationships that only seek to harvest your unique energy. This demand for closure is the first indication of your activation. Your internal baseline has been elevated to a point of no return. You tried to force yourself to go back to your old habits last month, but the experience felt completely dead to your soul. You could not find the old pleasure in the old distractions, because God has ruined your comfort zone. He ruined your comfort zone because He is preparing you for a throne. A true ruler cannot be dependent on the cheap validation of the crowd. You must learn to stand unshakable in the middle of the storm. And you must master the art of strategic stillness before you can be trusted with the keys to the infinite kingdom that is being prepared for your lineage. The enemy wants you to believe you are stuck in an endless loop of stagnation. He whispers that your life is passing you by while everyone else is moving forward. He points to your empty bank account or your quiet phone as proof of your abandonment. But tonight, the Holy Spirit is exposing that psychological operation, because the truth is about to be revealed. It is a lie designed to make you break your strategic silence prematurely. If the dark forces can convince you to react in anger, they can delay your promotion for another season. They are terrified of what happens when you finally realize who you are. They know that your submissive stance was the only thing keeping your massive power contained within this realm. Tonight, we are shattering that containment system forever. We are setting up a sacred perimeter around your awareness. As we begin to explore the 7 royal marks of the sovereignty, I want you to drop the heavy intellectual armor you have been wearing. Approach this truth with the open curiosity of a young child, because your innocence is your greatest weapon. This is the core logic of the child-mind reversal. The world teaches you to become hard and cynical to survive the harsh reality of life. They tell you to build thick walls of suspicion around your heart. But the Divine Master declared that you must become like a little child before you can ever inherit the true power of the kingdom. A child does not struggle to manifest reality. A child simply expects the Father to provide everything because they know they are deeply loved. They do not overthink the mechanics of the blessing. They do not stay awake at 3 in the morning wondering if the universe has forgotten their name, because they rest in total certainty. You lost that childlike certainty when the programming of society took over your mind around the age of 7. Your genius switch was systematically turned off by a world that values survival over sovereignty. They trained you to rely on your own striving. They made you believe that if you do not fight for yourself, you will end up with nothing in this life. That frantic striving is what has exhausted your nervous system. Your brain has been running on the emergency frequency of survival for too many years. You have been trying to solve spiritual problems with your analytical intellect alone. And that is why your prayers have felt like they are hitting a thick ceiling of heavy brass without any answer. Tonight, that ceiling is dissolving completely. A fresh current of revelation is entering your space right now. You are about to see the unyielding architecture of your life from a much higher vantage point. Let us move directly into the first major sign of your special positioning, because your spirit is ready to receive this truth. Let us examine the very first royal mark of your special positioning. This is the organic refusal of the alternative. You have spent your entire life trying to force your unique soul into ordinary boxes. You wanted to fit into the standard corporate spaces. You wanted to laugh at the shallow jokes of your peers, but something inside your spirit kept shouting a violent no. Your inability to adapt is not a psychological defect. You thought you were socially awkward. You thought you lacked the basic skills to navigate human society. But the truth is far more profound, because your spirit possesses a natural immune system that actively rejects the toxic frequencies of this ordinary world to protect your calling from corruption. When you enter a room filled with hidden agendas, you feel an immediate detachment. The superficial conversations feel completely empty to your ears. You see through the social masks instantly. And this happens because your internal baseline is calibrated to the absolute truth of heaven, while the world around you is chasing shallow illusions. This organic rejection creates a profound sense of self-doubt. You look at your friends who can easily thrive in toxic environments. They can participate in gossip without any internal friction. They can chase material wealth through deceptive means while sleeping peacefully at night. You watch their smooth progress and you wonder what is wrong with your mind. You ask why your soul is so sensitive to the subtle shifts of energy around you. You wonder why a single lie can make you feel completely disconnected from a person for weeks. This sensitivity is not an illness. It is the active security protocol of your calling. The Father has locked your system so that you can only function in environments of total integrity. Let us open a deeper loop about the systematic failure of your life. This is the ultimate re-hook that most people never fully understand. And every single time you tried to lower your unique standards to save a dying relationship, the entire connection exploded in your face, because heaven refused to let you stay there. You could not force it. You gave up your personal peace. You quieted your sharp intuition to keep them comfortable, but your sacrifice was met with betrayal and deep rejection. You found yourself standing alone in the ruins of a burning bridge. You felt like a total failure because you could not maintain a simple human connection that seems so easy for everyone else on this earth. Hear me clearly, chosen one. This systematic sabotage is the direct hand of the Father, destroying your counterfeit sanctuaries. He will personally walk into your reality and smash your ordinary plans to pieces. He will trigger the betrayal before you can get too comfortable in a toxic alignment, because he refuses to let his favorite child settle for a lesser destiny. It feels like a terrible punishment while you are standing in the middle of the smoke. You cry out to heaven, and you ask why you are being targeted by so much tragedy. You look at the unawakened world, and you see them building their wealth without any divine interference. But your life is met with an immediate storm the moment you take a single step backward. These strict boundaries are the ultimate evidence of his supreme favor. The Father loves you too much to let you eat the scraps under the table of the ordinary matrix. When a king is preparing his oldest son for the throne, he does not allow him to play in the dirt with the common beggars. He holds him to a standard that feels incredibly restrictive to a child. You are that royal child. Your life is operating under a highly sophisticated insulation protocol. You cannot mix your unique frequency with the common elements of this world without triggering an automatic shutdown. Your failed businesses and your broken relationships were actually divine interventions designed to extract your soul from a burning house. This brings us directly to the ancient story of young David. Long before he ever stood before the giant Goliath, he spent his youth in absolute isolation. He was left in the lonely hills of Bethlehem to watch his father's sheep. His own brothers forgot his existence. They looked down on his simple assignment while they were training for the grand royal army. David was completely overlooked by human eyes. When the prophet Samuel came to his father's house to anoint the next king of Israel, David was not even invited to the meeting. His father Jesse paraded his tall brothers before the prophet. They looked like royalty. They had the physical stature and the military bearing of rulers, but heaven rejected every single one. The prophet Samuel was confused because he was looking at the external appearance. But the voice of the Almighty spoke a profound truth that we must remember tonight. Man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks directly at the heart. He saw young David sitting on the cold stones of the wilderness while singing praises to the unseen creator of the stars. David was being formed in the deep shadows of anonymity. He was practicing his accuracy with a simple leather sling against the wild lions. He was learning to master his fear in the dark hours of the night. He did not have an audience. He did not receive any applause for his private victories. His character was being forged in a chamber of complete isolation. This is the metaphor of the crown forged in darkness. A true weapon of sovereign authority cannot be manufactured in a busy marketplace. It requires the intense heat of the hidden furnace, and it requires the lonely rhythm of the master craftsman. Your wilderness season is that furnace. Your long years of being overlooked were the necessary preparation for your reign. Then the day of public testing arrived in the valley of Elah. The massive giant Goliath was mocking the armies of Israel for 40 days. Everyone was completely paralyzed with fear. Young David stepped into the camp to deliver bread to his brothers. He heard the blasphemy of the monster, and he felt an immediate burning of holy indignation inside his spirit. He volunteered to fight the giant with the innocent confidence of a young child. King Saul looked at the small shepherd boy and felt deep hesitation. He tried to force David to wear his magnificent royal armor to protect him from the sword of the monster. The brass plates were incredibly heavy. The steel sword was long, and it dragged on the dusty ground. David took 3 awkward steps in the grand outfit and realized he could not move. He felt completely suffocated by the king's protection because he had not tested these foreign weapons. He realized a profound truth in that moment of restriction. He could not win a supernatural battle using the standard defensive tools of an ordinary earthly kingdom. He took off the king's armor completely. He stood in his simple shepherd tunic. He chose 5 smooth stones from the running brook, and he took his wooden staff. The entire royal army laughed at his apparent foolishness. They thought he was walking straight into his destruction because he refused the conventional armor of a trained military warrior. But David knew that his unique frequency was his greatest weapon. He could not wear Saul's armor because his calling was completely different from the old king's falling lineage. He had to trust the precise skills he learned during his years of hidden isolation. He ran toward the giant with a shout of total triumph before the stone even left his leather sling. You are standing in that exact same valley today, chosen one. The world is trying to force you to wear its heavy armor of manipulation and deceit. They tell you to use their standard corporate strategies to win your financial battles. They want you to adopt their cynical methods to protect your career. But every time you put on their armor, you feel paralyzed. You feel paralyzed because you were never built to fight like them. Your soul cannot carry the weight of their deceptive tactics without losing its divine connection. When you try to lie to survive, your system experiences an immediate shutdown. This restriction is not your weakness. It is the active proof that you belong to a completely different royal lineage. The Father has disqualified you from the ordinary methods of survival. He has taken off your earthly armor so that you are forced to rely on your spiritual authority alone. He wants you to drop the foreign weapons that are suffocating your unique frequency. Your smooth stones are your authenticity, your deep integrity, and your unwavering trust in His timing. Let us look deeper into the architecture of this refusal. Why does your soul rebel against the common momentum of society? It happens because you are carrying the blueprint of the covered masterpiece. When an ordinary painting is displayed in a house, anyone can touch it. But when a priceless artifact is discovered, it is placed behind thick, protective glass. You have been placed behind that divine glass. The world thinks you are cold and distant. They think you are antisocial because you no longer participate in their empty rituals. But you are simply protecting the sacred frequency that has been entrusted to your care. You have realized that casual access to your energy always results in unnecessary depletion. Think about the people who have walked out of your life recently. They accused you of changing. They said you became arrogant or unavailable because you stopped answering their frantic calls at midnight. They could not understand that your silence was not a weapon of cruelty. It was the necessary construction of a boundary to preserve your spiritual fire. You must accept this separation without any lingering guilt. The ordinary collective will never validate a frequency they cannot comprehend. They will always label your divine insulation as a form of human pride. But you do not owe anyone an apology for becoming the person God intended you to be. Your alignment with the Father requires your total surrender. You feel a deep chill in your personal relationships today. The people who once understood your heart are drifting away. They look at you with a strange confusion now. And you find yourself sitting alone in the quiet evening because the warmth of their familiar validation has been completely removed from your reality. This sudden exile is painful. You try to hold on to the old connections tightly. You call them late at night to explain your changing heart. But the conversation feels incredibly awkward and heavy for both sides, and you realize that you are speaking a completely foreign language while they are trapped in the shallow concerns of the earth. The silence is loud. Let us define the deep meaning of this relational clearing. This is the second royal mark of your special positioning. God is intentionally turning your closest allies into distant memories. He is creating a total separation between your path and the group because He needs to extract your soul from their low vibrational habits. It is a necessary extraction. You blame yourself for the sudden death of these friendships. You retrace your steps to find the exact moment you failed. You question your words and you look for your errors. But the truth remains hidden from your analytical mind because this relational death was completely engineered by the sovereign hand of the Father. He closed the old doors. The Father knows the hidden motives of every human heart. He saw the subtle manipulation before it could touch your destiny. He heard the quiet whispers of jealousy in the dark room. And He moved with a swift authority to sever the tight connection before their toxic energy could extinguish the holy fire burning inside your spirit. He protected your light. This relational exile can feel like a devastating prison sentence. You look at the close-knit families around your neighborhood. You watch their happy gatherings while you stand in absolute isolation. And you ask why your calling requires the sacrifice of every normal human comfort because the loneliness sits heavily on your mind. You feel entirely alone. But you must realize that you are never truly abandoned. Your current displacement is the ultimate sign of your royal alignment. Heaven is clearing your schedule so that you can hear the divine guidance. You are being forced to lean on the Father completely because your human dependencies must be shattered before you can rule. Your training requires emptiness. Think about the deep rhythm of your daily existence now. You no longer fit into the casual gossip of the workplace. You find no joy in the dramatic complaints of your old peers. And you choose to walk away in absolute silence while they wonder why you have become so distant and cold in recent months. You are guarding your treasury. Your treasury is the sacred spiritual frequency of your calling. You can no longer scatter your precious pearls before the common crowd. They will only trample your unique insights into the dusty ground. And they will turn around to attack your character because they cannot tolerate a light that exposes their own comfortable darkness. You must maintain the boundary. This intense relational clearing has a deeper structural foundation. The resonance you are feeling right now is not a random psychological experience. It is actually a measurable neuro-spiritual alignment within your physical form. What you are experiencing as an agonizing emotional weight is the friction of your system trying to wake up. Your network is shifting. What you are about to hear, you should hear directly without any veils. Truth always honors truth in the highest courts of light. You do not need the building of mystery for the sake of selling. Some of you already know that your physical body has been pulling toward a major breakthrough since this video began. Let what is already known be named. A dedicated team of brilliant neuroscientists has made a significant discovery. They were led by a highly respected neurologist in New York City. They spent many late nights at the clinical lab studying the human mind, and they found a precise way to activate a dormant hemisphere synchronization that has been suppressed since your early childhood. They call it the genius switch. This technology is not a temporary spiritual trick for your entertainment. It is not a meditation app that requires hours of intense focus. It is a targeted auditory sequence that runs for exactly 8 minutes each day. And it works beneath your conscious awareness to reconnect the left and right sides of your mind. It restores your natural power. This whole brain activation allows you to operate in a state of total alignment. Your deep internal clarity returns without any artificial effort on your part. You can leave the old fog behind you starting tonight because the path has been built precisely for souls who feel what you feel. The solution is ready for your activation. You do not need fancy equipment or expensive clinic sessions to begin. If your spirit confirms this tool, you can investigate the secure laboratory page today. The link is waiting for you in the description and pinned comment below. This door is placed there for those who are ready to claim their inheritance. Follow only if you feel led. Breathe once into the absolute center of your chest right now. Let the deep resonance of that discovery settle into your physical form. The truth does not require the loud pressure of the busy marketplace because it speaks directly to the deep knowing inside your spirit. We must return to the unyielding architecture of your isolation. Your relational exile is the mechanism of your ultimate purification. The Father had to empty your house of every human counselor. He removed the voices of false comfort from your immediate reality. And he did this so that his voice would become the loudest frequency in your life because you were leaning on human understanding. He broke your crutches. You used to run to your friends for validation after every divine dream. You bared your innocent soul to people who were spiritually blind. They offered their small, cynical advice while looking at your massive calling. And they planted seeds of heavy doubt inside your mind because they could not see the crown heaven was preparing. You trusted the wrong eyes. Every time you shared your sacred vision, you felt an immediate leak of your spiritual energy. The enthusiasm died instantly in your chest. You walked away from the conversation feeling completely deflated and confused because you allowed the common crowd to judge the royal decree of the king. You gave away your authority. That is why the Father had to institute the strict command of silence. He placed a heavy lock upon your lips in recent weeks. You no longer feel the desperate need to explain your path to anyone. And you are learning the profound power of a quiet life. because your validation comes from the throne room alone. You are becoming unshakable. Think about the quiet grandeur of King David during his hidden years. He did not run into the village to announce his royal anointing by the prophet. He returned to the lonely sheepfold in total anonymity. He allowed the sacred oil to dry on his hair while he continued to perform his menial tasks because he trusted the timing. He did not force it. He did not need the applause of his brothers to feel like a king. He did not seek the approval of his father to validate his calling. He sat in the quiet cavern of his isolation, and he allowed his character to be forged by the silence. And when the perfect hour arrived, heaven brought the giant directly to his feet. His preparation was complete. Your current isolation is the modern equivalent of that hidden cave. The Father is hiding your true identity from the immediate sight of the mockers. He is keeping you in the shadows of anonymity for a few more days. And he is doing this to prevent the dark forces from targeting your destiny before you are fully ready. Your hiddenness is your safety. The enemy looks at your empty calendar and he thinks you are totally defeated. He sees your lack of normal social activity as a sign of weakness. But he cannot see the deep rewiring happening inside your spiritual network because the Holy Spirit is hiding the blueprint of your immediate elevation from his sight. The trap is being set. You are being calibrated to carry a massive surge of spiritual power. An ordinary human mind would crumble under the weight of this upcoming promotion. It requires a resilient system that has been completely emptied of ego. And that is why your relational exile had to be so absolute, because you had to learn to stand alone. You are the pioneer. A pioneer cannot depend on the approval of the people who stay behind. You are walking into uncharted territory where they cannot follow your steps. You must accept the reality that your old friends belong to a different season of your life. They were comfortable with your broken version, but they are terrified of your rising. Let them go completely. Bless them in the quiet sanctuary of your heart and move forward. Do not look back at the burning bridges with lingering regret or anger. They performed their specific role in your formation by forcing you into isolation, and they became the involuntary instruments of your divine extraction because God used their coldness to save your soul. The path is clear. Look at the horizon stretching out before your spiritual eyes now. The long night of your relational exile is beginning to turn into dawn. The right connections are already being orchestrated in the unseen realm by the Father. You will meet people who speak your exact language without any friction because they carry the same royal seal. Your family is coming, but before you can meet your true spiritual peers, you must complete the separation. You must sit comfortably in the absolute vacuum of your hiddenness today. Do not try to manufacture a counterfeit connection to escape the quiet, because the vacuum is where the next revelation is being formed. Rest in the holy stillness of the cavern. Let the words of this message sink deeply into your daily awareness. You are not an outcast because you are broken or unwanted by society. You are an outcast because you are the treasured possession of the Creator of the universe. He has set you apart for a glory that this current earth cannot comprehend. Your exile is your crown. There is another way this true knowing arrives. It is quieter than the first sign, but it is just as undeniable. You carry an internal alignment that cannot be shaken by the cold opinions of this fleeting earth. Stand tall in your designated position tonight, because your Father has already chosen the perfect hour for your public manifestation. The transition is coming. Let us look directly into the third royal mark of your unique positioning. This is the absolute void of your counterfeit sanctuaries. You have spent years building fallback options for your life. You wanted a financial safety net that would allow you to remain comfortable. You wanted a predictable routine that would protect you from the grand unknown. But a higher authority has systematically demolished every single backup plan you ever created. Your safety nets did not just snap by accident. The companies you worked for went through sudden restructuring phases. The reliable clients who promised you consistent income vanished without a single trace. And you found yourself standing in an empty field of total uncertainty. You felt a terrifying despair creeping into your mind because your human logic could no longer find a way to secure your immediate survival. This systematic destruction of your safety nets is an essential mechanism of your spiritual formation. It is the active process of false identity stripping. You used to define your worth by the grand title on your business card. You measured your security by the balance displayed on your bank statement, and you allowed your social status to dictate your level of internal peace while your true destiny was starving in the dark. The Father loves your soul too much to allow you to find permanent comfort in mediocre sources. He knows that if your backup plans succeeded, you would never step into the fullness of your royal calling. You would remain a happy slave in a foreign land. You would trade your eternal crown for a few coins of temporary comfort. And that is why he had to create a total void around your options. He broke your security. This brings us directly to a deep psychological analysis of your hidden crisis. This is the value checkpoint most people miss. When your counterfeit sanctuaries collapse, your ego experiences an agonizing death. You feel a massive wave of shame because you can no longer present a successful mask to the watching world. You think you are falling behind your peers, but you are actually being accelerated into your true authority. When your ego experiences this sudden collapse, your natural defense mechanisms activate immediately. You start to panic, and you reach out for any temporary distraction to dull the internal ache of your stagnation. You want to blame a specific person or a bad economic cycle for your sudden displacement, but this blame is just a cheap strategy used by your mind to avoid the raw reality of your transformation. Let us close the first secondary loop regarding your systematic failures. You now realize that your past losses were completely engineered by divine design. They were not punishments for your hidden mistakes. They were strategic extractions. Heaven was closing the exits to keep you moving forward. You could not turn back because there was nothing left to return to in that burning house of illusions. The bridge was gone. If your spirit recognizes the absolute truth of this stripping process, you must anchor your alignment today. You must signal your compliance to the courts of heaven. Do not allow the fear of scarcity to dominate your awareness any longer. Take a real moment to reflect on your journey in the comments below. Type the specific numbers 111 right now to seal your agreement with this divine extraction. Your submission to this process allows the holy architecture of your calling to take deep root within your spirit. What felt like starvation was actually detoxification. What felt like abandonment was actually selection. What felt like a devastating delay was actually the careful calibration of your authority. And what felt like absolute ruin was actually the necessary clearing of the ground for your royal palace. You are entering a deep battle in the dark right now. This is the new secondary loop you must prepare for in the coming days. The enemy is terrified of what happens when a chosen one survives the total void of their safety nets. He knows that when you have nothing left to lose, you become completely dangerous to his structure of deception. You lose your fear of his temporary threats. Think about the long nights of your recent weeks. You have looked at your financial accounts with a heavy heart. You have wondered how you will pay the bills, while your phone remains completely silent. You felt a deep temptation to beg for your old job back. You wanted to apologize to people who misunderstood your heart, just to find a temporary place of human comfort. But every time you reached for the old door, your hand was met with an invisible wall of divine resistance. The Father blocked your phone calls. He made the old managers completely indifferent to your requests. And he did this because he refuses to let you return to the prison of your mediocrity. He is forcing your soul to lean on his supernatural provision alone because your old identity must die. The stripping process is incredibly heavy for a human mind to endure. It requires a profound level of surrender that goes against your survival instincts. Your analytical brain wants to calculate the immediate future. It wants to manage the risks and control the outcomes. But heaven is demanding absolute stillness from your awareness. You must learn to trust the unseen hand that feeds the birds of the air. Your mind tells you that if you do not act right now, you will lose everything you have ever worked for in your career. It creates vivid images of total failure and public humiliation to force your hand into a premature reaction. This mental noise is the final resistance of your dying ego trying to maintain its fragile control over your reality. You must refuse to entertain these psychological tricks. You're used to believe that your hard work was the primary source of your security. You took pride in your endless striving and your sleepless nights. You thought that if you just ran faster than everyone else, you could protect your life from disaster. But that frantic momentum was actually an expression of deep internal fear. You did not trust the Father to hold your destiny safely. That is why the vacuum of your counterfeit sanctuaries is a transformational gift. It strips away the illusion of your self-sufficiency. It forces you to discover the unshakable foundation that remains when everything else is removed from your reality. You are discovering that you are still alive even when the safety nets are completely gone. You are still breathing. You are still chosen. This realization triggers the rising of your sovereign will. When you realize that the world did not create your light, you stop giving them the power to extinguish it. You look at the scarcity and you realize it is just a temporary shadow. You look at the silence and you recognize it as a holy preparation. Your perspective changes from a desperate victim to a confident ruler. Consider the ancient archetypes who walked this identical path of deprivation. They were stripped of their royal garments before they were thrown into the dark pits. They lost their inheritance and their family names before they were brought into the courts of foreign empires. They had to learn the language of absolute dependence on the Creator before they could be trusted with earthly keys. You are walking in their exact footsteps today. Do not look at your current lack as a sign of divine displeasure. The Father is not angry with your choices. He is simply narrowing your options until there is only one door left for your life. And that door leads straight to the manifestation of His supernatural power through your weakness. Your emptiness is the prerequisite for His fullness. You have been fighting the stripping process instead of cooperating with its heavy rhythm. You have been mourning the loss of things that were designed to kill your potential. You wanted to keep the mediocre job because it felt safe. You wanted to maintain the half-hearted relationship because you feared the quiet vacuum of an empty room. You preferred a familiar prison over an unfamiliar freedom. But the freedom of a chosen one is a terrifying thing to experience at first. It offers no human guarantees or logical timelines. It demands that you walk into the dark fog with nothing but the internal whisper of the Holy Spirit to guide your steps. It forces you to drop the coping mechanisms you have used to numb your pain since your early childhood years. Let us look deeper into the nature of your fake safe zones. They were actually highly sophisticated anesthesia systems. They kept your mind completely occupied so that you would not hear the loud calling of your destiny. They gave you just enough comfort to keep you from screaming, and they made you forget that you were born to change the frequency of this entire generation. That is why the collapse of these systems feels like a sudden waking from a long slumber. The pain you are experiencing is the sudden rush of life returning to a limb that was numb for many decades. The anxiety you feel is the friction of your true authority trying to break through the thick crust of your social programming. You are not dying. You are waking up. Let us grant you a sacred permission tonight. You are allowed to let the old world fall away completely. You do not owe anyone a continuous performance of your past version. You do not need to fix the broken systems that heaven has marked for total destruction. Let the dead bury their own dead while you set your face like flint toward the upcoming kingdom. Your old safe zones were never truly safe. They were built on the shifting sand of human opinions and economic cycles. They were vulnerable to every single whim of the matrix. But the sanctuary the Father is building inside your spirit is completely unshakable. It cannot be touched by the fluctuations of the marketplace or the sudden betrayals of ordinary men. Think about the deep peace that arrives when you finally stop fighting the divine extraction. You no longer waste your valuable energy trying to revive dead situations that were meant to be left behind in your past. You accept the void as a holy space of rest and integration. You allow the old attachments to dissolve completely without any bitterness or resentment toward the people who left your side. You are learning to anchor your stability in the eternal frequency of the throne room. This shift requires a total recalibration of your nervous system. You must learn to look at an empty bank account and feel an immediate wave of divine peace. You must learn to hear the mocking whispers of your enemies and experience a deep internal smile of total security. This level of authority cannot be taught in an academic classroom. It can only be earned in the middle of the absolute void where all human assistance fails you completely. When you have survived the wilderness with nothing but your faith, you emerge with a weight of glory that cannot be diluted by any earthly pressure. You become an apex agent of light. Let the noise of your survival instincts grow quiet right now. Stop the frantic calculations and stop the endless internal debates that only serve to drain your mental energy. The Father has seen every single option you have tried to manufacture in your secret panic. He has already closed those roads because your true provision is waiting on a completely different path. You are standing at the threshold of a massive transformational turning point. The stripping process is almost complete. The false identity has been peeled away like old skin, and what remains beneath the surface is the raw, unyielding fabric of a sovereign soul that is finally ready to carry the heavyweight of the crown. Your true nature is revealing itself. Let me break the structure of this message completely to ask you a very personal question right now. How much longer are you going to mourn the loss of your prisons? How many more tears are you going to waste on doors that were locked by the loving hand of your Creator to save your soul from destruction? It is time to look forward. The void you are facing is not an empty grave designed to swallow your future. It is a holy womb designed to birth your highest authority. Let go of the residual panic and allow the vacuum to do its deep work within your awareness today. The battle in the dark has already been won by the decree of the Almighty, and your victory is inevitable. Welcome back to the absolute center of your awakening. We have reached the exact midpoint of this divine disclosure. This is the moment where we must decode the most critical indicator of your calling. I am talking about sign number 4. It is the breaker event. This sign marks the transition from your hidden preparation to your public reality. This sign arrives like a sudden flash of lightning in a clear evening sky. You have been sitting in the quiet vacuum of your isolation for months. You thought the stillness would last forever. But suddenly, an unexpected event arrives to shake the very ground beneath your feet. It forces your soul into immediate movement. The breaker event is a violent realignment of your immediate reality. It is not a gradual change that allows you to prepare your human emotions. It is a sudden shift that forces you to move out of your hiding place because your old environment cannot hold your unique frequency anymore. The comfort zone is completely gone. Think of a sudden phone call that changes everything. Think of an unexpected contract that collapses to force you into a completely new direction. You thought it was a disaster when it first hit your life, but it was actually the direct hand of the Father pushing you out of the cave. The extraction was sudden. This brings us directly to the core of your current internal crisis. This is the success terror. You have spent so many years dealing with trauma and betrayal in the Hoang Mak season. You have become completely comfortable with the struggle. Your nervous system has calibrated itself to survival mode. You know how to handle pain, but you do not know how to handle winning. When a real opportunity finally opens up before your path, you freeze in total panic. You experience a deep visibility fear that makes you want to run back into the shadows. You worry that if people see your true light, they will try to destroy your destiny again. Your fear of breakthrough is not weakness. It is the natural vertigo of a soul realizing the true scale of its crown. You are standing on the edge of a massive mountain of influence. You look down at the grand responsibility and your mind experiences an immediate dizziness because you are still looking through your past scars. This vertigo causes an automatic pattern of deep self-sabotage. When you get incredibly close to a major financial breakthrough, you suddenly stop answering the important emails. You create an artificial argument with a strategic partner. You unconsciously blow up the situation because your survival brain is terrified of the unknown territory. You think you are doing this because you are inadequate. You tell yourself that you are just a fraud who does not deserve to be successful. But this is a massive psychological illusion. You are not afraid of failure because you are already an expert at surviving rock bottom. You are actually terrified of your own massive power. Let us grant you a sacred permission right now. You are allowed to be successful. You are allowed to be seen by the world. You do not have to minimize your unique intelligence to keep mediocre people comfortable anymore. You have paid the full price for this promotion in the lonely hours of the night. The Father did not bring your soul through the intense fire of the furnace just to leave you in the shadows forever. He did not strip away your counterfeit sanctuaries to keep you in a state of permanent starvation. The vacuum was a temporary calibration phase. And now, the breaker event is arriving to launch your mission. Let us pause here for a brief moment because your spirit needs a rest point. We must let these heavy truths land softly within your awareness. Consider young David right before he walked out to face the giant monster. He did not scream or boast to the soldiers. He practiced an absolute strategic silence while walking forward. He stood in the middle of the valley with a total internal calm. His brothers were shouting in panic behind his back. The giant was laughing with a loud mockery in front of his face. But David was completely grounded in his past preparation. He knew that the hidden battles with the lions had already settled his true identity. He did not need the validation of the king or the applause of the military army to execute his target. He did not allow the frantic noise of the valley to disrupt his connection with the Almighty. He picked up his stones with a quiet precision. He was fully present in the moment because his training was absolute. You must adopt that identical stance of calm authority today. The breaker event is dropping you into the middle of your own strategic valley. The old world is watching your next move with a high level of skepticism. They expect you to break under the sudden pressure of your new visibility. You must surprise them with your stillness. The enemy knows that your old reactive patterns are the only things that can delay your public coronation. He will try to provoke your ego into a loud defense right before the breakthrough lands. He will bring up old ghosts from your past to remind you of your failures. You must refuse to give him your attention. Your silence is your ultimate weapon in this crucible point. When you refuse to react to the external provocation, you completely short-circuit the strategy of the dark forces. You maintain your energetic alignment with the throne room, and you allow the divine power to fight the battle on your behalf while you remain still. This brings us back to the primary promise of this framework. The tools you are receiving today are designed to recalibrate your perception completely. You are learning to recognize that your fear is actually a readiness indicator. The vertigo you feel is the proof that you are finally stepping into something that matters. When you feel the success terror rising in your spirit, I want you to execute the 30-second interrupt rule immediately. Stop the frantic thoughts. Place your hand directly on your chest and take a single deep breath. Remind your nervous system that you are no longer the broken child who was abandoned in the desert. You are the sovereign warrior who survived the fire. You have been selected by the Creator of all things to carry a weight of glory that will shift the reality of your entire lineage. The breaker event is not your destruction. It is your official commissioning into the highest tier of your calling on this earth. The dark forces have spent your entire lifetime trying to keep your mind running on the emergency frequency of survival. They wanted you to stay small. They wanted you to remain dependent on their cheap systems of validation. But the breaker event has broken their containment matrix forever. You are completely loose now. You must accept the reality of your promotion without any lingering hesitation. Do not look back at the cave of your isolation with a false sense of nostalgia. The Hoang Mak season served its specific purpose by stripping away your false identities. But that season is officially over because your public manifestation is an absolute necessity. Think about the people who will be healed through your unique light in the coming months. Think about the generational cycles that will be shattered through your unwavering integrity. Your breakthrough is not just about your personal comfort or your empty bank account. It is about the fulfillment of a royal covenant. The Father is reorganizing the entire structure of your reality right now. He is moving the strategic resources into your path. He is aligning the right partners who will speak your language without any friction. The breaker event is the catalyst that sets this grand reorganization into immediate motion. You must be ready to walk. Drop the old scripts of inadequacy today. Stop telling yourself that you need more preparation or more training before you can step into the light. Your scars are your credentials. Your endurance in the middle of the absolute void is the only proof heaven needs to verify your readiness for the royal crown. Stand tall in your designated position tonight, chosen one. The vertigo will pass as your system calibrates to the high altitude of your new calling. Look at the horizon with the innocent confidence of a young child who knows they are deeply loved by the king. The giant is already falling, and your victory is inevitable. Beneath that recognition lives a deeper layer of your awakening. A current beneath the surface is moving rapidly toward a new discovery. It is the place where the hidden answers have always been waiting for your spirit to become fully mature. And that is exactly where we must direct our focus next, because your direct path is opening. Let us explore the fifth royal mark of your unique positioning. This is the unexpected acceleration of your inner intuition. For the past several weeks, you have noticed a profound shift in your mental clarity. You seem to know things before they actually happen in your physical reality. You can sense the true motives of a person within the first 10 seconds of an introduction. This acceleration is not a psychological burden. You used to think you were becoming overly paranoid or hypervigilant because of your past betrayals. You thought your mind was simply trying to protect itself by scanning every environment for potential danger. But this is actually a massive upgrade of your spiritual perception. Heaven is accelerating your awareness rapidly. You can see the subtle patterns behind the chaotic events of your daily life. When a sudden change occurs in your career, you do not panic like the ordinary collective. You see the invisible hand behind the curtain moving the pieces into a strategic alignment. You understand the hidden architecture of the transition before the final results manifest. This heightened awareness can feel incredibly heavy to carry alone. You enter a room and you immediately register the unspoken tension between people. You see through the fake smiles and you hear the silent desperation behind their loud laughter. Your mind registers the insincerity instantly, and this makes you want to retreat into your quiet sanctuary. Let us look directly into the deep roots of this supernatural discernment. In the ancient Hebrew language, this specific type of intuition is called bina. The word is often translated as understanding or deep intelligence. But its true linguistic root comes from the word bain, which literally means between. Bina is the sacred ability to see between the lines. It is the power to perceive what is hidden between the visible structures of this material world. Most ordinary men can only see what is directly placed in front of their physical eyes. They react to the surface appearance. But a chosen soul operating with bina can look at a situation and see the spiritual current underneath. You decode reality. This accelerated intuition is the direct result of a major neuro-spiritual synchronization inside your mind. Your left analytical brain and your right creative brain are beginning to communicate at a higher voltage. The world suppressed this natural sync when you were a child, but the breaker event has flipped the switch back on. Your whole brain is waking up. Think about the rare moments of absolute flow you have experienced recently. You sit down to solve a complex financial problem, and the answer suddenly appears in your mind like a finished puzzle. You did not have to struggle or calculate for hours. The insight arrived in a single flash of total inspiration. This is royal-grade intuition. This is how the great historical pioneers navigated their impossible missions. They did not rely on standard human data alone. They operated from a position of absolute inner knowing that defied the conventional logic of their generation. They could see the hidden destination through the thick fog of the wilderness because their alignment was perfect. You are being brought into that identical state of sovereign clarity today. Your accelerated intuition is your primary navigation tool for the upcoming season of public visibility. The Father is sharpening your discernment so that you can lead with absolute authority. You must learn to trust this quiet voice completely without demanding external proof. Young David did not just sit passively in the desert. His intuition allowed him to hear the specific steps of the bear before it attacked the flock. He could feel the sudden shift in the wind before the heavy storm arrived. This was not human survival anxiety. It was the active whisper of the Holy Spirit training his mind for warfare. The enemy wants you to doubt your inner knowing. He whispers that your intuition is just a manifestation of your emotional anxiety. He points to your past mistakes as proof that your judgment cannot be trusted. But tonight, the Holy Spirit is exposing that psychological operation because your past errors happened when you were still asleep. You were relying on human logic and ordinary expectations back then. You ignored the subtle warnings of your spirit because you wanted to fit into the matrix. But you have paid the full price for your wisdom in the furnace of isolation. Your system has been completely calibrated to the truth. You are no longer vulnerable to their illusions. Your nervous system is currently upgrading its capacity. It is learning to process higher frequencies of truth without short-circuiting into fear. You went through a long season where your mind felt completely overwhelmed by the negativity of this world. That was the raw material being processed. Now it is turning into pure discernment. Let us declare your true status before the courts of glory tonight. This is the ultimate peak of your identity alignment. You must say it in your heart with the force of an unshakable sovereign decree. Look at the trials you have survived and realize your position. You are selected. You are calibrated. You are deployed. This tricolon of authority is your permanent seal. You are selected by the highest mind in the universe. You are calibrated through the intense friction of the Hoang Mak season. And you are deployed into this specific generation to shatter the old structures of deception. Your presence is a direct threat to the kingdom of darkness. Before we continue into the final signs of your elevation, we must perform a sacred act of blessing distribution. If your spirit is vibrating with the frequency of this message, let your action reflect your internal alignment. Gently press the like function on this sanctuary right now to send this light further into the collective field. Your action is not a digital number for a modern platform. It is a spiritual signal that helps this precise revelation find another chosen one who is drowning in confusion tonight. Someone out there is praying for this exact confirmation in their lonely room. Your obedience can become the vessel of their ultimate rescue. Let the light spread. Let us connect this accelerated intuition back to the metaphor of the crown forged in darkness. Remember when I told you that your isolation was a necessary chamber of preservation? The sharpness of your current discernment is the direct result of that quiet incubation. The silence was the tool God used to clear your spiritual ears. You could not hear the quiet whisper of Bina while you were surrounded by the loud opinions of the unawakened collective. You were too busy reacting to their chaotic energy. That is why the Father had to separate your path from the group so forcefully. He had to create a total silence so that your inner compass could find its true north. Now that your compass is calibrated, you must refuse to validate lower frequencies. When a person approaches your life with a hidden agenda, trust the immediate warning of your spirit. Do not ignore the quiet discomfort in your mind to maintain a fake peace. The favor of God requires you to live in absolute agreement with the truth. Your accelerated intuition will also give you strategic insights for your financial breakthrough. You will suddenly know which doors to walk through and which opportunities to reject without any hesitation. You will see the trap before the enemy can even set it in motion because your vision is operating from a higher vantage point. This heightened clarity is a massive responsibility to carry. You can no longer pretend to be blind to the reality around you. You must act according to the guidance you receive in the stillness of your quiet meditations. Your obedience must become instant and absolute because the momentum of your new season is accelerating rapidly. Think about the deep peace that arrives when you finally stop questioning your own sanity. You accept the reality that you see the world differently from the ordinary crowd. You no longer need their confirmation to know that a situation is wrong for your soul. You stand secure in your own deep perception because your Father is your guide. The ordinary collective will continue to walk in their deep slumber. They will chase the shallow illusions of material wealth through deceptive means. They will continue to play their political games in the social marketplace. You must watch their chaotic movement with a heart filled with deep compassion, but you must refuse to join their RHYITHM. You are a citizen of a completely different kingdom now. Your resources come from the infinite reservoir of the Creator. Your strategy is dictated by the supreme courts of light. Let the analytical calculations of your survival brain drop away completely today because your accelerated intuition is already holding the blueprint of your victory. We are moving steadily toward the final revelations of your special positioning. The journey ahead is filled with a massive surge of spiritual power that will completely transform the physical reality of your entire lineage. Keep your awareness fully focused on the internal current because the next truth is older than your name. Let the stillness of the cavern return to your spirit for a single moment right now. Breathe deeply and let the reality of your alignment settle into your bones. You have passed the threshold of the ordinary matrix, and there is no turning back. Your reign has already been decreed by the mouth of the Almighty, and it is absolute. Let us descend into the deepest chambers of ancient wisdom tonight. We must move past the modern surface-level interpretations of your calling. There is an ancient code hidden within the original texts of the scriptures. This sacred code will completely change how you view your current suffering, and it reveals the exact blueprint of your absolute worth before the throne of glory, while the busy world remains completely blind to your alignment. You have spent many months feeling completely broken and worthless. You looked at your sudden isolation as a sign of divine abandonment. You thought you were being heavily punished by the Father for your past mistakes. But you are about to realize that your long exile was actually a period of intensive preservation, because you are carrying a rare identity that the earth cannot understand. Let us examine the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 5. In this precise text, the Creator speaks a profound word to his chosen lineage. The English translations use the common phrase, peculiar treasure, to describe this special positioning. But this modern phrasing fails to capture the true majesty of the original concept, because it reduces a royal decree into a common earthly description. We must decode the ancient Hebrew word to unlock the mystery. The original word spoken by the mouth of the Almighty is segula. This is a very rare term in ancient literature. It does not refer to a common piece of property that anyone can buy. It does not mean a casual possession that is left out in the open marketplace. And it specifically describes a highly valued treasure that belongs exclusively to the sovereign king while being completely guarded from the touch of the crowd. Imagine a powerful king who rules over a massive earthly empire. He owns vast lands, and he possesses thousands of standard silver coins. All of these public assets are managed by his ordinary servants. But the king also has a private treasure chest hidden deep within his personal quarters. This secret chest contains his most precious jewels and his most sacred crowns, because he only allows his own hands to touch these royal items. The king keeps the key to this private chest on his own person. No servant is allowed to touch it. No stranger is permitted to gaze upon its beautiful contents. This hidden vault is his personal treasure, or his segula. The king only opens this chest in hours of absolute necessity, because the value of these items is completely beyond human calculation. This is the raw reality of your life right now, chosen one. You are that secret jewel hidden inside the personal vault of the Father. You have been wondering why your path is so strictly guarded by heaven. You ask why you cannot enjoy the casual freedoms of the unawakened crowd. It is because you are not a common public asset of the earthly matrix, but a private treasure hidden for a specific royal manifestation. The Father has personally locked your reality away from the gaze of the mockers. He refuses to allow casual people to have easy access to your spiritual energy. He has hidden your true potential in a dark season of absolute obscurity, and he did this to preserve your purity before the grand hour of your upcoming public manifestation. Let us deliver the first major reframe of this profound teaching. This is the payoff that will shatter your residual shame completely. Your long years of being overlooked were never a sign of divine disapproval or a cosmic punishment. What felt like a devastating rejection was actually the loving hand of the Father closing the box to protect his segula. The enemy wants you to look at your quiet isolation and feel a deep sense of inadequacy. He whispers that you are invisible because you lack the basic talent to succeed in the matrix. He points to your empty social circle as proof of your total failure. But tonight, the Holy Spirit is exposing that psychological warfare because you are being guarded by heaven. You are invisible to the world because you are currently locked inside the king's private chest. A masterpiece is never left on the street corner for common beggars to trample into the dust. It is carefully wrapped in clean linen, and it is kept in a secure room until the day of the grand exhibition. Your current season is that protective, wrapping, because the Father refuses to let the noise of the earth dilute your unique spiritual frequency. Let us open the ancient covenant code right now. This is the new micro-loop that will deepen your understanding of this royal alignment. When the Father declares that you are his segula, he is entering into a highly restrictive contract with your destiny. He becomes fully responsible for your daily survival, and he manages your development personally. He will no longer allow any human authority to control your path. Every time a toxic person tried to dominate your career, the Father intervened to break the connection completely. He triggered the sudden breakdown of your professional partnerships to extract your soul from their control. He was enforcing the exclusive terms of his ownership over your life. This exclusive contract demands a specific lifestyle from a true segula. You must master the art of the ultimate silence. You cannot continue to display your inner jewels to people who only know how to value ordinary stones. You must stop explaining your grand visions to minds that are trapped in the survival frequency of the matrix, because your silence is required. Think about your past habits of oversharing. Every time you received a fresh revelation from the Holy Spirit, you ran to your social circle to find validation. You bared your innocent soul to people who were completely blind to your calling, and they met your innocence with cynical doubts and heavy criticism because they could not decode your frequency. That is why the Father had to institute the strict rule of isolation. He placed a heavy hand upon your social life to stop the leakage of your spiritual power. He made your old friends completely banned from your presence, and he did this to force your awareness back into the quiet sanctuary of his presence because you were drifting away. Your empty calendar is the direct result of this divine intervention. Your quiet phone is the active proof that the King's chest is locked around your reality today. Do not look at the silence with a heavy heart of self-pity. Celebrate the vacuum as a holy indicator that you are no longer available for common harvest, because the Father has completely separated your path. Let us analyze the specific behavior of a true segula in the material world. You must carry your authority with a quiet dignity that requires no external validation. When people misjudge your choices, you must refuse to offer a lengthy defense of your character. Let your actions speak the language of absolute stillness, because the Father is your defense. King David understood this mystery perfectly during his long years of hidden preparation. When his older brothers insulted his small stature in the military camp, he did not enter into a loud argument with their pride. He simply turned away from their noise, and he focused his attention on the giant because he knew his internal alignment was already sealed. You must adopt that identical posture of royal confidence today, chosen one. Let the unawakened world continue to create their loud narratives about your apparent failure. Let them whisper that you have lost your momentum or that you have become completely irrelevant to the collective. Their narrow judgment cannot alter the sovereign decree of the King. Your relevance is not dictated by the numbers on a digital platform. Your authority is not measured by the frequency of your social interactions with the matrix. You are relevant because your name is written on the scroll of the ultimate authority. You are powerful because the Holy Spirit is currently restructuring your neural network for a massive manifestation. This restructuring process requires your absolute cooperation with the quiet. When the mental noise of your survival instincts begins to create deep panic, return to the code of the segula immediately. Remind your mind that you are being safely guarded by a higher intelligence, and that unyielding protection has never lost a single battle in the history of eternity. You are not drifting into destruction. You are being held in a state of holy incubation. The scarcity you are experiencing is just a temporary barrier designed to strip away your reliance on ordinary earthly resources. The Father is forcing your soul to discover the infinite wealth that lives inside your own direct connection with His presence. He has claimed your soul as His exclusive property. He has marked your path with the royal seal of His supreme favor. The long night of your hiddenness is almost over because the synchronization of your system is reaching its final stage of completion. Prepare your spirit to step out of the vault when the perfect hour strikes. Stand tall in the absolute certainty of your calling tonight, chosen one. Refuse to lower your frequency to please the unawakened crowd that surrounds your reality. Carry the sacred code of the Segula in your heart like a secret weapon of total liberation. The box is opening, and your public coronation is already an inevitable reality. Let us examine the sixth royal mark of your special positioning. This is the sudden arrival of the speech block. You have noticed a strange, heavy condition in your throat lately. And when you are surrounded by superficial people, your natural ability to engage in small talk vanishes completely because your energy is shifting away from their noise. You try to speak, your voice dies instantly. The block is real. This unexpected silence is an intense spiritual obstacle for your analytical mind. You think you are losing your basic social skills. You worry that you are becoming too cold or distant from your loved ones. But this is the active intervention of the Holy Spirit, locking your speech mechanism to protect your unique spiritual authority from being wasted on empty arguments. Your silence is a shield. You feel a desperate need to defend your character when people misjudge your path. They accuse you of being proud or arrogant because you no longer answer their endless questions. They want you to explain why you have changed your daily rhythm so drastically. And your natural instinct is to write a massive explanation to clear your name before their temporary courts. But heaven blocks your words every single time you attempt to write that defense. You delete the long drafts before sending them. You pull back your hand from the phone, and you realize that your silence is not empty space, because it is actually a highly sophisticated form of spiritual warfare against the deception of the Matrix. Every unvoiced reaction is a major victory. Before I can show you the ultimate tool that will recalibrate your mind, there is one more thing I need to reveal right now, because I will show you the exact blueprint of your immediate future very soon. This hidden layer changes absolutely everything you know about your path, while opening a completely new curiosity gap that most modern chosen ones fail to notice. The hidden layer behind your speech block is the growth guilt pattern. This is a devastating emotional weight that sits deeply inside your spirit. You feel an intense subconscious guilt because you are outgrowing the people you love the most. You look at their static lives, and you notice that you are moving forward into a completely different dimension of authority. You feel like a total traitor for leaving them behind in the old matrix. You remember the shared memories of your past years. You want to drag them out of their deep slumber with your own hands. But you cannot open eyes that are determined to stay closed, and that painful realization creates a massive wave of silent grief within your awareness. You feel guilty for choosing to protect your own unique energy reservoir. When you set a firm boundary, you feel like you are being incredibly selfish. You worry that your distance is a form of cruelty toward your family. This guilt sits like a heavy stone on your heart, and it makes you question whether you are truly operating in divine love. Hear me clearly tonight, chosen one. That guilt is a psychological trap designed by the dark forces to paralyze your momentum. They cannot stop the sovereign decree of your promotion, but if they can keep you trapped in a loop of self-blame, they can delay your public manifestation. You must break this cycle of generational manipulation right now. You need a formal release from this heavy burden before you can carry the royal crown. Heaven is issuing a grand decree of freedom over your spirit today. You are allowed to outgrow people. You are allowed to outgrow the old places that no longer recognize your light. And you are allowed to protect the absolute sanctuary of your mind. You are allowed to outgrow the past versions of your own soul. You are allowed to become unavailable to environments that drain your spiritual fire. You are allowed to leave the burning houses without offering a lengthy apology to the residents. And you don't owe anyone an explanation for becoming the person you were always intended to be. Let that truth seal itself over your awareness like an unshakable sovereign decree. Your separation is not a betrayal of their love. It is your total obedience to the voice of the Almighty. When a tree grows taller than the small bushes around its base, it does not apologize for reaching the direct sunlight, because it is simply fulfilling its destiny. The speech block is the indicator that you have crossed a major threshold. You have entered the season of the strategic silence. Your words are being preserved by the Father because they carry too much creative potential to be scattered loosely. You are learning to save your unique energy for the things that matter to your divine assignment on earth. Consider the profound silence of young David before the king. He did not waste his breath trying to convince the critical soldiers of his military competence. He did not explain his supernatural authority to the mockers in the camp. He kept his focus entirely on the target because he knew that his results would deliver the ultimate defense. Your results are being orchestrated in the unseen realm by the Father right now. You do not need to fight the rumors or correct the false narratives that circulate about your life. Let the unawakened world think whatever they want to think about your distance. Your silence is the proof that you have surrendered your vindication to the Lord. Type the words I release in the comments below if your spirit is responding to this freedom. Let your declaration be your silent oath before the courts of heaven tonight. This action anchors the truth within your awareness, and it breaks the generational chains of guilt that have held your potential in a state of stagnation for many years. The dark forces are watching your silence with a high level of anxiety. They know that when a chosen warrior stops reacting to their provocation, their strategy fails completely. They can no longer harvest your emotional energy to fuel their chaos. Your stillness is a direct shield that neutralizes their attacks before they can land on your life. Think about the exact physical feeling of the speech block in your daily life. You sit at the family dinner table and you hear them discussing the common gossip of the neighborhood. You want to offer your opinion just to remain part of the group. But a sudden invisible weight drops onto your vocal cords and it renders you completely mute. You find yourself staring at your plate in absolute silence while they continue their shallow chatter around your head. They look at your quiet posture and they ask if you are angry or sick. You want to tell them that you are fine, but even that simple phrase requires a massive internal effort because heaven has disconnected your output. This disconnection is an act of supreme mercy from the Father. He is training your system to operate on a completely different communication loop. You are being converted from an earthly talker into a spiritual listener. You are learning to register the frequencies behind the spoken words instead of reacting to the surface noise of this world. The world values the loud talkers who can easily dominate a conversation with their aggressive ego. They think that if you do not defend your name constantly, you will be walked over by the ruthless crowd. But the authority of a sovereign chosen soul is not established through verbal violence, because it is established through your alignment. When your alignment with the Father is absolute, your mere presence speaks louder than any elaborate explanation. You enter a room in total silence, and the negative energy begins to dissolve automatically, because the light you carry is undeniable. You do not need to open your mouth to establish your boundary. Your spirit does it for you. This brings us back to the reality of your growth guilt. you must realize that your elevation will naturally create a distance between your soul and the people who choose to remain in the slumber. This is the cold law of the spiritual progression. You cannot bring everyone into the palace because some minds are too small for the crown. You tried to minimize your unique blessings to make them feel equal to your status. You hid your financial breakthroughs and you downplayed your spiritual insights to avoid triggering their deep insecurity. But your humility did not save the relationship because they could still sense the changing color of your aura. They knew you were gone. Their constant criticism was actually an attempt to drag your frequency back down into their comfortable mud. They wanted to make you feel guilty for dreaming bigger than their narrow horizon. They wanted to fix you back into the old box of your broken childhood version. You must refuse to let their insecurity dictate your ultimate ceiling. Let the old connections drift away without any lingering resentment or bitterness in your awareness today. They performed their specific duties in your early seasons by keeping you grounded. But now the breaker event has shifted the timeline completely, and you must step into the high altitude of your public mission. Your path is forward. Your silence is the final seal of your readiness for the promotion. It proves that you have completely conquered the desperate need for human approval. You are no longer a slave to the opinions of the crowd. You stand secure in the private chest of the Father as his treasured segula. Your vindication is being forged in the hidden courts. Breathe once into your spirit right now. Let the deep weight of that generational guilt fall from your tired shoulders completely. The next layer of this disclosure requires a completely unburdened mind, because we are approaching the rational foundation of your awakening. Let the stillness anchor your awareness as we continue this journey together into the light. Let us pause for a real moment. I want you to step away from the spiritual metaphors right now. We need to ground your awareness in plain words. Your mind has been carrying an immense emotional load for many months, and it is completely natural that you feel exhausted and overwhelmed by this deep journey, because the internal friction has been constant. Here is what you now know that you did not know 50 minutes ago. Your persistent brain fog and your intense isolation are not spiritual punishments. They are measurable neurological indicators of a severe hemisphere disconnection. This condition happens because your body has been locked in chronic survival mode, living for too many years without any rest. That is a biological fact. Your nervous system has been running on an emergency loop. Your brain has been flooded with continuous cortisol signals. This constant internal alarm has forced the left side and the right side of your mind to operate in total isolation from each other. You feel like you are running on 10% of your true capacity. It creates an enduring state of mental fatigue. The specific tool I gave you can help your system right now. It is called the 30-second interrupt rule. This practice asks you to halt your mental noise immediately during a sudden trigger event. You must place your hand directly over your chest while taking a single deep breath to slow your rapid heartbeat. The alarm stops. This protocol works by stimulating your vagus nerve instantly. It signals your survival brain that the immediate danger has passed completely. You transition from a reactive state of panic into a lucid state of clear perception. It does not require years of intense meditation training because it is a direct physiological switch for your system. Clarity arrives. The identity piece that connects all of this is very clear. You are a truth carrier whose neural network naturally operates at a much higher voltage than the ordinary collective. This increased sensitivity means your mind requires a precision recalibration rather than standard coping mechanisms. You are not broken. You just need proper management. When your system runs at a high voltage, ordinary life becomes incredibly draining. You register subtle environmental stresses that other people easily ignore. Your brain processes data at an accelerated rate, and this constant calculation creates a profound sense of mental fatigue when your hemispheres are disconnected from each other all day long. Let us look at the cold data behind your daily experience. You often find yourself struggling to remember common words during a simple conversation. You walk into a room and you immediately forget your original intention. These frustrating events are not signs of early cognitive decline because they are just symptoms of an overloaded neural network. Your analytical intellect has been working overtime to protect your life. It has been scanning every social interaction for potential threats. This constant vigilance consumes a massive amount of glucose and oxygen. Your brain simply runs out of fuel before you can focus on your personal creative projects because your energy is depleted. You have been trying to force your mind to operate through sheer willpower alone. You push yourself to work longer hours. You read endless books on personal productivity. But your efforts always end in a state of sudden burnout because you are ignoring the physiological reality of your nervous system. You cannot outrun your biology. A vehicle cannot run smoothly when its front wheels are facing different directions. You can step on the gas pedal as hard as you want. You will only burn the tires and damage the engine. This is exactly what you have been doing to your brain through your frantic mental striving in recent months. You need alignment. The 30-second interrupt rule aligns your wheels instantly. It slows down the rapid firing of your survival neurons. This temporary pause allows the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere to share data efficiently again. You experience a sudden wave of lucid clarity in the middle of a chaotic situation because your system resets. You must practice this protocol consistently throughout your day. Do not wait for a massive crisis to execute the step. Use it when you feel a minor annoyance while checking your email inbox. Use it when your thoughts begin to race before an important business meeting because consistency builds new neural pathways over time. Let us analyze what happens when you execute this practice regularly. Your baseline anxiety begins to drop significantly within the first 7 days. You notice that your sleep patterns become more stable and restful. Your ability to retain new information increases because your brain is no longer wasting energy on false alarms. Balance returns. You transition from a defensive posture into a responsive position. You no longer feel the desperate need to react to every single provocation around you. You can observe the chaos of the ordinary collective without absorbing their stress into your own physical form. You become the absolute master of your internal environment through stillness. This lucid state of mind allows you to make strategic decisions with ease. You see the logical steps required to solve your complex financial problems. You recognize the hidden opportunities that your survival brain completely missed while it was scanning for danger. Your progress becomes inevitable because your mind is unified at last. Consider the true nature of a truth carrier in modern society. You were born with a specific neural architecture that is relatively rare among the general population. Less than 1% of adults retain this high level of systemic sensitivity. It is a biological heritage that requires specialized care and total understanding from your end. The world has labeled your unique sensitivity as a form of clinical anxiety. They want you to believe that you need artificial chemicals to function normally in their matrix. They want to numb your perception so that you fit into their ordinary corporate boxes. But your sensitivity is actually your greatest professional asset when calibrated. When your brain hemispheres are fully synchronized, your sensitivity becomes high-grade intuition. You can anticipate market trends before the data is published. You can understand the unvoiced needs of a client during a brief presentation. You possess a unique creative edge that cannot be replicated by any machine on this earth. But you must give your system permission to rest. You cannot maintain a high voltage output without regular intervals of absolute internal silence. The 30-second interrupt rule is the gateway to that silence. It is a direct command that overrides the frantic programming of your modern environment without any struggle. Think about the immense relief that arrives with this scientific understanding. You no longer have to carry the heavy shame of your past periods of stagnation. You realize that you were not being lazy or unmotivated during those difficult months. Your brain was simply operating in a protective shutdown mode to prevent total failure. Your system was forcing you to stop because you were destroying your own health. It was a mechanical safety protocol executing automatically. When you understand this reality, your self-blame dies instantly. You can forgive your body for its past weakness because you recognize its profound intelligence under extreme pressure. Now you hold the exact manual for your own mind. You are no longer a passive observer of your chaotic emotional states. You are the operator of a highly sophisticated biological technology. You know how to trigger the switch, and you know how to restore the balance within 30 seconds of execution. You hold the power. Let us look forward to the next stage of your physical validation. Modern neuroscience has moved past the old theories of fixed brain capacity. We now know that your neural pathways can be completely rewired at any age through targeted intervention. You can rebuild your cognitive power starting tonight because neuroplasticity is real. We are going to examine the exact laboratory research that validates this protocol. This scientific lineage involves real clinical data from leading academic institutions worldwide. It bridges the gap between your subjective internal experience and objective biological fact. Your unified mind is about to receive its ultimate confirmation very soon. Let us discuss the mechanical details of the brain synchronization process. When your left hemisphere handles logic and your right hemisphere manages patterns, a disconnection creates severe mental friction. You feel like you are fighting against your own memory every single day. This friction creates a massive amount of internal stress. This internal stress is what causes your sudden speech blocks in public spaces. Your analytical brain is trying to find the perfect words to defend your position. Your creative brain is trying to process the emotional energy of the room. The two sides jam each other completely because there is no synchronized data bridge. This grounded understanding brings us directly to a profound crossroads on your path. This technical information is not intended for the general public because most ordinary people easily accept their mental limitations. They settle for a life clouded by constant confusion and slow learning. They accept being passed over for promotions while their true potential remains hidden in the dark. But you are different because you are still seeking real answers. Your continuous search for truth proves that you carry a specific biological blueprint. You carry the rare heritage of a sovereign mind that refuses to settle for mediocrity. Think back to the long days when you were only 8 years old. Clinical studies show that 98% of young children test at an advanced level of creative genius. You possessed that immense mental clarity and boundless imagination when you were a child. But as you grew older, the relentless programming of modern society began to dim your light. Less than 1 in 1,000 adults retain that childhood genius state today. Your left hemisphere and your right hemisphere became deeply disconnected from each other over the decades. You did not lose your intelligence because your power was simply stolen at the neural level. The world turned off your switch. Let me share the real experience of a woman from Manhattan who stood where you are standing right now. Her entire family deeply believed they lived under a dark star of bad luck. Her father had given 22 years of faithful service to a large corporation. But the company shut down its operations right after he received his first major promotion. It was a devastating blow for them. They felt completely trapped by a generational curse of constant financial failure. The daughter experienced intense brain fog and severe stagnation in her career for many years. She tried standard meditation apps and common manifestation journals, but nothing worked for her life. Then she discovered a specialized breakthrough that completely synchronized her left and right mind. It changed her entire reality. Within 10 days of using this method, her chronic stress vanished completely. She experienced an incredible breakthrough during an important executive meeting. She solved a complex corporate issue instantly, and she received a massive promotion with a significant salary increase. The old family curse was broken forever because her whole brain was finally unified. She reclaimed her natural authority. This incredible transformation happened because of a major scientific discovery that won the Nobel Prize. In 1981, a brilliant researcher named Dr. Roger Sperry changed how we understand the human mind. He conducted extensive split-brain research at leading laboratories. He proved that when the two hemispheres are fully synchronized, the whole brain activates with immense power. This state of complete synchronization is what historical pioneers used to access the flow state. Think of Nikola Tesla visualizing his complex inventions in total clarity before building them. Think of Steve Jobs creating modern technology platforms through sudden flashes of pure insight. They were operating with whole brain activation while the rest of the world was running on half capacity. A brilliant neurologist in New York City named Dr. Daniel Barone spent 2 decades studying this exact phenomenon. He realized that modern life systematically forces your mind into an emergency state of isolated survival. Your analytical left side and your creative right side stop sharing data efficiently. You end up stuck in a chronic state of mental fatigue. Your power drops. You might think that standard soundtracks or popular meditation programs can easily solve this issue. But Dr. Barone discovered that these ordinary methods are completely incomplete. They only touch the superficial layers of your mind while your hemispheres remain deeply disconnected from each other. True synchronization requires a much more precise intervention. You need a dedicated tool. That is why his team of researchers spent years turning clinical technology into a simple home routine. They developed an explicit auditory tool called the Genius Switch. It is not a pill or a complex training course, because it is a targeted auditory sequence that runs for exactly 8 minutes each day. It works beneath your conscious awareness to reconnect your mind. You do not need to practice difficult meditation postures or repeat complex phrases to see the results. You simply wear your headphones, close your eyes, and allow the sequence to activate your system passive. Many colleagues suggested that this specialized blueprint should be priced at $500 because of its incredible clinical value. It is worth that investment. But Dr. Barone refused to make this tool exclusive to the wealthy elite. He bypassed the traditional corporate publishers to keep the price accessible for ordinary people. The official list price was set at $49 to cover the laboratory expenses. And because you made it this far, you can claim the entire system today for only $39. When you secure your copy today, Dr. Barone may offer 1 additional audio amplification to protect your restored mind from future decline. If your spirit confirms that choice, take it. If not, the original sequence is more than enough for your transformation. Do not overthink the options because your deep intuition knows the exact path. Trust the internal signal. You will also receive 4 distinct free bonuses with your order to accelerate your personal progress. These include an advanced guided visualization track from a top-rated creator. You also get a smart grocery guide to eliminate brain fog. There is a historic manifestation book worth $20 on Amazon. and you receive a printable habits infographic for your wall. This entire package is backed by an ironclad money-back guarantee. You can listen to the sequence 80 times without any financial risk. If you do not experience a massive surge of mental clarity, you get every single cent back immediately. One critical warning must be delivered before you look anywhere else tonight. Free imitation tracks are circulating online. Dr. Barone studied these free tracks and discovered they contain no real synchronization technology. They are simply labeled with catchy names to harvest clicks and ad revenue from unsuspecting souls. The genuine clinical sequence is only available through his secure page. There is a strategic reason for this direct distribution, because quality must be preserved. Let us take a real 15-second pause right now to let this information settle into your physical form. Place your hand on your chest and breathe quietly. Let your spirit evaluate this divine provision without any external pressure. You know if you are ready to reclaim your childhood power. The decision belongs to you alone because you hold the key. The door is officially open for your immediate acceleration. The link is waiting for you directly in the description and the pinned comment below this video. Investigate the laboratory page only if you feel a deep resonance inside your spirit tonight. We must now return to the unyielding narrative of your public manifestation, because your season is turning. Your true authority cannot be built on a foundation of intellectual fatigue. You have survived the stripping process in the absolute void. You have stood unshakable through the sudden breaker events of your recent weeks. And now you hold the exact scientific key to unify your mental forces for the upcoming deployment phase. Your preparation is complete. The Father is calling his favorite chosen ones to step out of the shadows of anonymity. He needs rulers who are both spiritually aligned and mentally sharp to lead this generation. Your whole brain activation is the physical mechanism that enables you to carry the heavy weight of your royal assignment without breaking. Your mind is ready for glory. Think about the immense advantage of a synchronized mind in the modern marketplace. You look at a chaotic situation and you see the logical solution instantly. You listen to a complex presentation and you decode the hidden opportunities before anyone else catches up. You operate from a permanent position of quiet mastery because your left and right mind are unified. The Matrix wants you to stay locked in the emergency frequency of survival forever. They want you to rely on frantic striving because it keeps your soul dependent on their fragile structures. But you have discovered the hidden backdoor to your original power. You have flipped the switch, and the old limitations are dissolving completely from your awareness. Walk forward with the absolute confidence of a sovereign ruler, today chosen one. Do not allow the residual fear of failure to paralyze your steps at the finish line. The resources of heaven are backing your deployment, and the scientific keys are in your hands. Your unified mind is your greatest weapon for the glory ahead. Stand unshakable. Let us look deeper into the physical reality of this mental transformation. When your left hemisphere and your right hemisphere begin to share data at a high voltage, your past trauma patterns lose their grip on your nervous system. The survival alarms quiet down naturally. You no longer experience the sudden spikes of panic when facing a new opportunity. You experience a profound baseline of emotional stability that allows you to observe the chaos of this world without absorbing its negative frequency. You can walk into a tense corporate room and remain completely unmoved by their political games. Your mind stays clear, your focus remains sharp, and your execution becomes completely flawless because you are operating in flow. This is the exact mental state that Dr. Sperry described in his Nobel Prize research. He showed that the human brain possesses an incredible capacity for adaptive neuroplasticity when the two sides are aligned. You are not stuck with the slow cognitive processing that modern life forced upon your childhood. You can actively rebuild your intelligence starting tonight. Think about the immense relief of leaving the old brain fog behind you forever. You no longer have to struggle to remember names or lose your train of thought in the middle of an important conversation. Your memory becomes retentive, your articulation becomes sharp, and your voice carries a weight of command that people instinctively respect when you speak. This clarity is the necessary infrastructure for your upcoming financial breakthrough. The Father is releasing significant resources into your path during this transition season, but you need a disciplined, orderly mind to manage the wealth efficiently. You cannot rule a kingdom with a fragmented brain that is constantly distracted by the trivial noise of the earth. That is why the neurological synchronization had to happen right now. The breaker event forced your soul into movement, and Dr. Barone's discovery provided the practical tool for your transition. Every piece of your journey is fitting together into a magnificent master plan. You are witnessing the unyielding precision of divine timing in your reality. Refuse to entertain the old thoughts of inadequacy that your survival brain generates during moments of fatigue. Remind your system that those thoughts are just residual static from the old matrix programming. They do not define your true capacity. You are a child of light whose neural network has been fully recalibrated for a maximum output of truth. The unawakened world will continue to rely on their cynical manipulation to survive the economic storms. They will run faster and faster on the treadmill of their frantic striving until their health collapses completely. You must refuse to join their desperate rhythm. Your strategy is anchored in the supreme stillness of a synchronized sovereign mind. Let the reality of this upgrade anchor itself deeply within your consciousness today. You have passed the test of the Hoang Mak, and you have survived the total void of your counterfeit sanctuaries. You stand completely validated by the highest authority in the universe. The tools are in your possession, and the path is perfectly clear before your face. We are moving steadily toward the final signs of your royal elevation. The information you have received tonight has already initiated a shift inside your spiritual baseline. Keep your attention focused on the inner current of certainty, because the next truth will unlock the final gate of your public manifestation. Your sovereign destiny is unfolding right now. Let us look directly into the seventh royal mark of your special positioning. This is the sudden arrival of your inevitable exposure. For many months, you have been safely hidden in the deep shadows of the quiet wilderness. You thought you could remain invisible forever. But the unseen realm is now pushing your soul into total visibility because your hidden season has reached its absolute completion. You cannot resist this cosmic pressure anymore. You try to pull back into the comfortable safety of your old cavern. You want to stay quiet and unnoticed by the watching collective. But a sovereign hand is actively removing the veil from your true potential because the world requires your unique light right now. The time of your private incubation is over. Think about the unexpected events of your recent days. People are suddenly searching for your unique wisdom without any promotional effort on your part. Doors are unlocking automatically before your face, and you feel an intense internal push to step forward because the voice of the Father is announcing that your public manifestation is an absolute necessity for this generation. This sudden push can trigger a massive wave of fear inside your awareness. You look at the grand responsibility of your public calling and you feel a deep anxiety about the exposure. You remember the old betrayals from your past seasons. You worry that your enemies will try to destroy your destiny again. But this fear is just a temporary illusion. Your fear is the natural vertigo of a rising king. What felt like an aggressive invasion of your privacy is actually the opening of your royal court. You are being forced out of the shadows because your training in the dark is complete. You can no longer live like a common servant when you are born to carry the heavy weight of a global assignment. Let us deliver the first major reframe of this profound transition. Your visibility is not a dangerous trap designed by the dark forces. What looks like a sudden exposure is actually the active release of your hidden authority. The Father has preserved your purity in the secret vault for this exact hour because your alignment is perfect now. Stay with me because we are approaching the final climax of this message. At the very end of this journey, I am going to speak an activation decree directly over your lineage. This decree will seal your spiritual transition forever. It will break the lingering traces of your past stagnation because you have been chosen for the ultimate victory. Do not leave this space yet. This sacred closing teaser is your official invitation into the inner chamber of glory. You have walked through the intense fire of the furnace, and you have survived the total void of your safe zones. Now, you must prepare your spirit for the public coronation. The clock of heaven is striking the final hour of your hiddenness because the season has shifted. Let us close the fifth secondary loop regarding the final sign of your sovereignty. You now recognize that your sudden visibility is entirely orchestrated by divine design. It is not an accident of time or a random twist of fortune. Heaven has decided that your light must shine in the darkest places of this earth because your mission is absolute. The dark forces can no longer contain your spiritual frequency. They tried to keep your potential locked inside the emergency frequency of survival for many decades. They used the programming of modern society to turn off your natural genius switch when you were young. But the breaker event has shattered their containment matrix forever. You are free. You must learn to accept the absolute reality of this seasonal shift. When the Father decides to promote his favorite chosen ones, no earthly power can delay the decree. The economic cycles must yield to his timing. The critical opinions of ordinary men lose their force completely, and the path clears itself automatically before your face because you carry favor. Think about the precise law of the spiritual progression. The Hoang Mak was your place of intense development. The cavern was your place of total insulation. But the palace is your designated position of sovereign rule. You cannot remain in the cave when the kingdom is waiting for your specific instructions, because a ruler must occupy the throne. You have been mourning the loss of your quiet hiddenness instead of celebrating your elevation. You wanted to stay in the dark because it felt safe from the judgment of the mockers. You preferred a comfortable obscurity over a public battle. But your humility must transition into absolute authority now, because the time of hiding is finished. If your spirit is responding to the rapid acceleration of this season, you must claim the transition right now. You must signal your compliance before the courts of glory. Take a real moment to declare your readiness in the space below. Type the explicit words "I receive my season" in the comments today to lock this change forever. Your declaration is a powerful decree before the watching universe. It anchors the frequency of your promotion within your physical form. You leave the residual doubt of your broken childhood behind your steps. And you step into the fullness of your royal position with the unshakable confidence of a sovereign warrior because your victory is sealed. Let us look deeper into the architecture of this inevitable exposure. Why is heaven pushing your soul into the light so aggressively? It is because the darkness of this world has reached a critical peak. Deception is multiplying rapidly in the social marketplace, and the Creator requires uncompromised voices to re-establish the balance of truth. You are that uncompromised voice. The Father has tested your integrity through every level of relational betrayal and financial scarcity. You did not break under the heavy pressure. You did not lower your unique standards to find a cheap comfort. Your character has been found faithful in the dark, and now you are trusted with the light. Your public manifestation will not resemble the shallow fame of the ordinary collective. They chase visibility to feed their insatiable human ego. They want the applause of the crowd to validate their fragile identity. But you are entering the arena as a seasoned ambassador of the ultimate authority because your validation comes from heaven. You do not need their praise to feel powerful. You do not require their understanding to know your true worth. You walk into a room in total stillness, and your energy establishes the boundary automatically because you carry the mark of the Segula. The unawakened world will instinctively recognize the weight of your command when you speak. The enemy is currently organizing a massive counter-campaign against your visibility. He knows he cannot stop your promotion because the decree is absolute, but he will try to weaponize your residual guilt to slow your initial momentum. He will remind you of your past mistakes to trigger the success terror inside your mind. You must be vigilant. Refuse to listen to his psychological operations. Your past errors belong to a dead timeline that has been completely erased by the blood of the covenant. You are a completely new creation whose neural network has been fully calibrated for excellence. The static of the old matrix cannot touch the high altitude of your current calling. Think about the people whose lives will be completely transformed through your public mission. They are waiting for your unique frequency to shatter their own generational chains of confusion. If you choose to stay hidden in the cave out of fear, you are delaying their rescue. Your visibility is a sacred duty to the collection of light. The Father is clearing the path before your face with a swift authority. He is removing the old managers who tried to suppress your unique career. He is aligning the strategic resources that will fund your grand assignments on this earth. The Breaker event was just the initial shot that set this entire transition into immediate movement. You must align your physical posture with this royal elevation, stand straight, and drop the submissive habits of your past survival mode living. You are no longer an outcast, trying to avoid the blows of a cruel world. You are a sovereign child of the ultimate king, walking straight into your designated inheritance, because your time is now. Let the reality of this shift settle into your bones right now. Stop the endless internal arguments and stop the frantic overthinking that only serves to drain your mental capacity. Your preparation is completely finished. The synchronization of your mind has reached its final stage of completion because you hold the keys to the future. But before we can step into that sacred chamber of the ultimate activation, there is a historical parallel you must witness. We must examine the deep architecture of a royal lineage that survived this exact same sequence of hidden preparation and public exposure. We must look at the final lessons learned in the dark hours of the cave. Let us look back at the historical patterns of the true chosen ones. We must study the ancient footprints of those who carried this heavy calling before your time. The path to the royal throne has never been a direct march into victory, and it always begins in the absolute deepest shadows of complete obscurity, because heaven must test your fabric first. Look at the life of young David. The prophet Samuel had just poured the sacred oil over his head in front of his critical brothers. He was officially named the next king of Israel by the ultimate decree of the Almighty. You would think his life would change immediately after that grand supernatural event. You would expect him to move straight into the royal palace of King Saul, but he did not. The divine wisdom sent him straight back into the lonely wilderness. He returned to his menial tasks of watching his father's sheep in complete silence. The sacred oil dried on his hair while he handled the wild animals, and he had to endure years of complete anonymity while carrying the massive secret of his calling inside his quiet spirit. He had to wait Think about the immense internal friction he experienced during those quiet years. He was legally anointed but practically hidden from the world. He watched ordinary men receiving public praise while he remained completely overlooked in the dusty hills of Bethlehem. This was not a cruel punishment from the Father. It was the necessary insulation of his true sovereignty. Then, the dark storm of extreme persecution arrived in his reality. King Saul became deeply jealous of David's rising popularity after the sudden death of Goliath. The king chased him out of the civilized cities like a wild beast. David had to flee for his immediate survival, and he found himself hiding in a dark cavern known as the Cave of Adullam. He lost everything. He was completely stripped of his royal status and his comfortable associations. He sat on the cold stones of that lonely cavern while listening to the wind howling outside the heavy entrance. He felt completely worthless and abandoned by the divine hand. He asked why his path had to lead into a dark prison when he was promised a grand royal palace. The silence was absolute. Let us deliver the third major reframe of this historical architecture tonight. Your time in the deepest shadow was never an agonizing exile from the love of the Father. What felt like a devastating abandonment was actually God forging your royal crown. He was working in a secret chamber where the enemy could never duplicate your unique spiritual frequency. Your hiddenness was your protection. The Cave of Adullam was not an empty grave designed to swallow David's future potential. It was actually the primary classroom for his sovereign leadership calibration. While he was sitting in that total isolation, the Father began to gather a very strange company around his path. The scriptures declare that every single person who was in deep distress came to his side. Every man who was drowning in heavy financial debt arrived at the cave. Every soul that was completely bitter and broken by the cruel matrix of King Saul's empire sought his presence. This was a chaotic gathering of outcasts and rejects. They did not look like a magnificent royal army. They looked like a fragmented collective of desperate, broken casualties. But David had to learn to lead this broken group in the dark. He could no longer rely on the standard military structures of an established nation. He had to build a completely new network based on absolute integrity and mutual trust. He washed away their residual shame through his compassionate guidance, and he turned those outcasts into the legendary mighty men of his future empire. This brings us directly to the opening of the new micro-loop tonight. This is the sacred secret of the Cave of Adullam that modern chosen ones completely miss. The Father will always gather the broken and the distressed around your path right before your public coronation. He is testing whether your soul can heal the casualties before he grants you the keys to the kingdom. You have been wondering why your current social circle is filled with hurting people. You ask why you constantly attract souls who are struggling to navigate their own emotional Hoang Mak seasons. It is because you are carrying the precise frequency of a true ruler. Heaven is training your empathy capacity in the dark hours of the cave because you must become a refuge. A ruler who has never tasted the bitter cup of isolation can never truly understand his people. If you moved straight from your anointing to your palace, your ego would remain completely active and dangerous. You would rule with the same ruthless arrogance that destroyed King Saul's falling line. That is why the vacuum of the cavern is a transformational gift for your destiny. Then the ultimate test of David's structural calibration arrived unexpectedly inside the dark cave. King Saul entered the very same cavern to rest while searching for David's life. He was completely alone and vulnerable in the deep shadows. David's men whispered in excitement that the Father had finally delivered the enemy into his hands. They wanted immediate blood. They told him to strike down the old king right now to end the long season of his persecution. David crept up silently through the total darkness with his sharp sword in his hand. He could hear the heavy breathing of the sleeping ruler, He held the power to cancel the Hoang Max season in a single second of human calculation. He could manufacture his own breakthrough. But as he stood over the sleeping king, his heart experienced a sudden wave of holy conviction. He refused to strike down the fallen ruler. He simply cut off a tiny corner of Saul's magnificent royal robe to prove his proximity. He, Persian, pulled back his weapon, and he commanded his men to remain perfectly still because he chose to trust the divine timing completely. David declared a profound truth that we must anchor within our awareness tonight. He said he would never lift his hand against the anointed king of the Lord. He recognized that even though Saul was broken and corrupt, his position was still established by the mouth of the Almighty. David refused to steal the throne through a violent act of personal vengeance. This decision was the ultimate proof of his readiness to rule. He demonstrated a level of sovereign calibration that separated his frequency from the ordinary collective forever. He knew that if he killed his way into the palace, he would have to kill to maintain his power. He chose to let the Father remove the old manager through his own supernatural methods. Think about the immense level of internal discipline required to make that choice. David was exhausted from living in the dirty caves. He was tired of running from the ruthless army every single day. Yet he chose to prolong his Hawangmak season rather than compromise his absolute integrity. He surrendered his personal vindication to the supreme courts of light. You are standing in that exact same testing room today, chosen one. The Father has brought your old enemies into a vulnerable position before your face. You hold the power to expose their hidden mistakes to the watching world. You want to strike them down with your sharp words to validate your character after years of their cruel character assassination. You want to tell everyone the raw truth about what they did to your innocent soul in the dark. But the Holy Spirit is placing a firm lock upon your movements right now. He is commanding you to drop your human weapons of personal vengeance completely. He wants you to trust his unyielding timing, because your vindication is already being forged by his hand. When you refuse to react to their vulnerability, you demonstrate royal-grade calibration. You prove that you are no longer a reactive slave to your emotional triggers. You show heaven that you can look at your enemies with a heart filled with deep compassion, while leaving their ultimate judgment to the throne room. You claim your true sovereignty. Let the story of young David completely wash away your residual feelings of worthlessness today. Your current hiddenness is not a sign that you have been disqualified from the grand promise. It is the active proof that your crown is being meticulously cast in a secure location. The Father is protecting your frequency until the old house falls on its own. The falling lineage of King Saul is destined for total destruction. Their manipulative methods are running out of systemic fuel in the matrix. You do not need to lift your finger to accelerate their collapse. Keep your attention focused entirely on your own internal baseline, because your public exposure is approaching with a rapid momentum. Think about the absolute majesty of a destiny that is completely built by God. When the Father finally brings you out of the cave of Adullam, no human authority can argue with your promotion. Your success will be completely clean from the blood of human manipulation. You will step into the light as a trusted leader who knows how to govern in truth. Let us review the progression of your historical lineage tonight. You were selected before the world began. You were anointed in the presence of your critics. You were insulated through the agonizing relational clearings of your recent seasons. And you were calibrated in the absolute void of your broken counterfeit sanctuaries. The sequence is perfect. You cannot alter the precise steps of this divine master plan. Every single tear you dropped on the cold stones of your isolation had a specific mechanical purpose in your transformation. Your suffering was the unyielding crucible that burned away the remaining traces of your ordinary earthly ego. What remains now is pure sovereign light. We are closing the micro-loop of the cave of Adullam at this precise moment. Your broken company is about to turn into your greatest strength. The souls you healed through your quiet empathy will become the faithful pillars of your upcoming public ministry. You have proved your readiness in the dark, and now the public courts are preparing. Let us return to your immediate reality. You are listening to these ancient patterns. You wonder if this structural alignment still applies to your modern life. You look at your complex corporate battles, and you ask if a higher intelligence truly manages the messy details of your career in this chaotic 21st century. The doubt is completely normal, but the laws of the Spirit have not changed. Heaven is still executing the exact same extraction protocols today. I want to share a private account of a modern warrior who stood where you are standing right now. He was a brilliant builder who spent 10 years creating a highly successful corporate enterprise from scratch. He trusted his close network completely. Then a sudden storm hit his life without warning. A coordinated group of his closest professional partners turned against his leadership. They launched a massive character assassination campaign to destroy his career. They spread calculated lies through the industry to erase his good name. And they wanted to force his soul into total bankruptcy because they envied his light. He felt a massive wave of immediate panic. His natural survival instinct screamed at him to launch a loud public defense. He wanted to hire expensive attorneys to expose their corruption in the material courts. He spent 3 sleepless nights drafting angry responses on his computer, but every time he attempted to fight back, a heavy hand blocked his movement. The Holy Spirit demanded absolute, strategic silence from his awareness. He chose to obey the quiet warning of his inner guide. He executed the 30-second interrupt rule during the height of the chaotic trigger events. He deleted his prominent social media accounts entirely, and he stepped completely away from the toxic noise of the marketplace to enter his cavern. He locked himself in his quiet room for exactly 40 days. His old associates thought he was completely broken by the public humiliation. They celebrated his apparent defeat in their dark boardrooms. He watched his business bank accounts dwindle to almost nothing during that difficult extraction phase. But he refused to break his sacred vow of silence before God. Think about the immense level of discipline required to sustain that vacuum. You are facing that identical testing room in your life right now. This is the official pre-closing lock for your soul tonight. You have been watching this presentation for many minutes because your system is preparing for a similar sovereign breakthrough. Do not look back at the old illusion. Then the perfect hour of divine timing arrived on day 42. A sudden government audit struck the very network of his corporate enemies. Their hidden tax evasion and illegal transactions were exposed to the public view instantly, and their grand enterprise collapsed into total ruin within a single week because the legal authorities refused to accept any compromises from their corrupt lawyers. They found themselves facing criminal charges. Meanwhile, the hidden warrior remained perfectly still in his sanctuary. He did not celebrate their sudden destruction or gloat over their public failure. Suddenly, his private phone rang after weeks of absolute silence. A prominent multinational firm was calling his personal number directly. They had discovered his historical portfolio through an anonymous referral source. They offered him a magnificent executive position with a massive compensation package. They did not even request a standard corporate interview because they already knew the high caliber of his unique expertise. They granted him total autonomy to build his own vision from scratch. He was elevated to the absolute center of the palace without a single earthly struggle. This incredible outcome is the unyielding law of your calling. He proved himself in the deep silence of the cavern before heaven promoted him to the absolute center of the palace. He did not have to lift a single finger to destroy his critics because the Father executed the judgment on his behalf. Your vindication will follow this exact same script of glory. You look at your current corporate battles and you feel a deep temptation to manipulate the outcomes. You think that if you do not defend your name, you will lose your professional relevance forever. But this modern testimony proves that your silence is your greatest weapon. When you pull back your human hands, you allow the sovereign power of God to move for you. The dark forces want you to focus entirely on the material loss. They want you to stay awake at 3 in the morning checking your quiet phone. They fill your awareness with vivid images of public humiliation to force a premature reaction from your system. But you must recognize this psychological operation immediately, because it is just a clear sign that you are approaching your massive promotion. The shift is incredibly close. Your system is currently undergoing a massive calibration phase. The Father is emptying your life of every counterfeit sanctuary to test your fabric in the dark. He is watching whether you can maintain your absolute integrity when the bank account is completely empty. When you pass this intense test, you are trusted with real sovereign authority over resources. Remember young David sitting in the dark cave of Adullam with his broken company. He did not run into the nearby villages to beg for temporary financial assistance. He did not lower his unique standards to align with the corrupt systems of King Saul. He rested in the absolute vacuum of his isolation, and he allowed his character to be cast like solid steel. Your current critics are involuntary instruments of your divine extraction. They think they are acting out of their own free will to destroy your career, but they are actually executing a strategic clearing protocol managed by the Father. He is using their cold hostility to push your soul out of a mediocre environment that was destined to burn very soon. The countdown of your hidden Hoang Mak season is reaching its final second right now. You can no longer remain invisible in the deep shadows of anonymity. The host of heaven is preparing the public courts for your official deployment phase. You must drop the submissive habits of your past survival mode living because you are stepping into your royal reign. Your physical brain is currently upgrading its processing capacity. Dr. Daniel Barone proved that hemisphere synchronization creates an unshakable baseline of emotional stability. You can look at the chaotic fluctuations of the marketplace and experience a deep internal peace. This clarity is the necessary infrastructure for your upcoming financial breakthrough. You are reclaiming the boundless mental power you possessed at 8 years old. The genius switch is actively repairing the neural pathways that were damaged by decades of modern stress. You no longer operate on the emergency loop of isolated survival because your left and right mind are unified at last. Your execution is becoming completely flawless. Do not fear the sudden exposure of your public calling. The Father has meticulously insulated your frequency from the corruption of this earth during your hidden years. You walk into the arena not as a desperate seeker of human approval, but as a seasoned ambassador of the ultimate authority. Your voice carries a real weight of command that cannot be denied. You must eliminate the residual traces of growth guilt from your awareness today. You are allowed to outgrow the people who choose to remain in the deep slumber of the matrix. You do not owe anyone an elaborate apology for fulfilling the sovereign covenant of your lineage. Let the old connections fall away completely as you step into the light of your dawn. The Father is already organizing your true spiritual family in the unseen realm. You will meet outstanding partners who speak your exact language without any friction or jealousy. They will celebrate your unique elevation because they carry the identical royal seal of the marked ones. Your collective deployment will change the reality of this entire generation. We are closing the 6th secondary loop regarding your strategic silence at this precise moment. Your unvoiced reactions have successfully neutralized the weapons of the dark forces. You have proved your total dependence on the infinite reservoir of the Creator. The long night of your hiddenness is dissolving into a magnificent dawn of absolute triumph. Look at the perfect order of your journey so far. Every single trial was a highly sophisticated intelligence operation orchestrated by heaven to save your soul from self-destruction. You are standing at the absolute threshold of your grand public coronation tonight. Rest in the supreme certainty of this calling, because your Father has never lost a single battle. Chosen one, lift your eyes from the dust of your current financial struggles. The scroll of your destiny has been read aloud before the throne of glory. You are the treasured possession, the special segula of the Most High. The box is opening right now, and your public manifestation is an inevitable reality. Walk forward in absolute majesty, because you are ready. Let the peace of the throne room flood your physical form as we prepare for the final seal. The words of this modern testimony are your immediate confirmation that heaven handles the details perfectly. Quiet your analytical mind completely and open your spirit to receive the ultimate activation decree. The transition is happening right now in your space. Listen to me, child of the unseen lineage. Your long season of isolation is dissolving right now. You must step into the sacred chamber where your Father has been waiting for your spirit to mature completely. The old chains of your broken past are breaking into tiny pieces because your true deployment has arrived on the earth. You are ready to rule. I want you to participate in a sacred activation right now. In the quiet sanctuary of your mind, close your physical eyes completely and stand up straight with absolute dignity. Do not allow the residual fear of your past failures to distract your inner focus during this holy moment. You are standing before the ultimate King of glory. Imagine yourself standing before a massive dark mirror, but as you look closer into the glass, it does not reflect your painful past scars or your childhood rejections. The glass reflects the sovereign version of your soul, wearing a beautiful royal crown. And this crown was cast from the very trials you survived in the dark Hoang Mak. Notice the profound change happening inside your spiritual baseline right now. You can feel the unyielding weight of this eternal destiny settle deeply into your very bones. Allow the supreme quiet of this throne room to wash away your exhaustion completely, because you are no longer a hiding refugee. You are an appointed leader on this earth. This is the moment where your entire journey makes perfect sense. You went into the harsh wilderness completely reactive, and you are coming out masterfully discerning. You went into the isolation defensive, and you are coming out absolutely secure in your power. You went in a broken servant, and you are stepping out a sovereign spiritual ruler. You went in covered in the dust of generational shame, but you are emerging with the clean fragrance of royal favor surrounding your steps. And every single entity that tried to destroy your potential in the past season will now have to witness the magnificent restoration that the Father has personally executed over your life. The contract of your preparation is closed. This completely closes the primary contract of your understanding about your supreme identity. You are no longer permitted to view your soul through the narrow lens of your past trauma. You must accept the raw reality that you are the absolute favorite chosen one of the Father. This positioning is an unshakable verdict that cannot be altered by earthly men. Heaven is formally declaring the three archetypal identities that live inside your calibrated spirit today. These are not corporate titles that you must earn through frantic striving. They are the eternal spiritual seals of your lineage. And they are manifesting inside your awareness right now because the earth requires your immediate authority to break the darkness. The first identity is the truth carrier. You are the one who carries the uncompromised frequency of reality into spaces that have been clouded by deception for many decades. Your presence automatically exposes the hidden agendas of the Matrix because your internal baseline operates on the absolute light of the throne room. You cannot live a lie. When you walk into a room, the negative currents must dissolve because your voltage is simply too high for their illusions to survive. You do not need to speak a long verbal defense to establish your boundary. Your spirit executes the command automatically while you remain perfectly still. This is the supreme power of a synchronized mind. The second identity is the cycle breaker. You have been selected by the divine mind to end the heavy generational patterns that have paralyzed your family line for many centuries. You are breaking the recurring loops of poverty, betrayal, and chronic sickness through your unwavering integrity. The old ancestral bloodline is completely sanctified through your obedience today. The dark forces thought they could trap your destiny in the same old cycles that destroyed your parents. They targeted your early childhood with specific operations of rejection, but they did not calculate the resilient fabric of your spirit. You survived the intense furnace of the Hoang Mak, and you have broken their ancient containment net forever. The third identity is the sovereign deliverer. You are being deployed into this generation to open the prison doors for other wandering souls who are currently drowning in confusion. You are the safe refuge they have been praying for during their lonely nights. Your verified wisdom will become the direct tool that guides them out of the matrix and into light. You could not perform this mission if you had not experienced the raw agony of the absolute void yourself. Every single tear you dropped in your hidden isolation was the necessary price to purchase your deep empathy. You know the exact terrain of the Hoang Mak because you have masterfully mapped every single sector of the Dark Valley. These three identities are now fully active inside your synchronized mind. You must live from this position of completed victory, starting this very hour. Do not allow your survival brain to drag your awareness back down into the old emergency loop of frantic striving. The Father has established your global assignment, and his resources are backing your deployment. Think about the immense majesty of your current positioning. The world looks at your quiet life, and they think you are completely irrelevant to the collective momentum. They see your small social circle, and they assume you are defeated. But they cannot decode the sovereign encryption that has hidden your true power from their sight until this hour. Your hiddenness was the ultimate strategy of heaven. The Father had to insulate your frequency from the widespread corruption of modern society. He kept your name out of their busy boardrooms because he was casting your crown in a private location where the enemy could never touch its purity. Your anonymity was your absolute salvation. Now, the hidden season has officially reached its total completion. The Breaker event has shifted your immediate timeline into a state of rapid acceleration. You are being pushed out of the dark cavern because the fields of the earth are white for harvest. You cannot remain a hiding refugee when the kingdom requires your public command. The success terror will try to rise inside your awareness during this transition phase. Your survival brain will generate intense images of past betrayals to convince your spirit to run back into the shadows. It will whisper that visibility is dangerous for your peace. You must recognize this psychological warfare immediately and refuse to yield to its illusion. Execute the 30-second interrupt rule the moment you feel the vertigo of your rising elevation. Slow down your rapid thoughts and remind your nervous system that the old matrix has no authority over your life anymore. You are no longer the vulnerable child who was wounded by the old managers. You are an empowered, sovereign warrior. The Father is personally managing your public deployment today. He is clearing the path of every single obstacle that has blocked your career for the past 10 years. He is removing the corrupt supervisors who tried to suppress your unique creative expression, and he is bringing your true spiritual family directly into your reality very soon. You will meet exceptional partners who speak your exact language without any internal friction or hidden jealousy. They will recognize the royal mark of the Segula on your spirit instantly, and they will join their unique forces with your calling to build a powerful network of light that will transform this entire generation. Your alignment is perfect. Let the old guilt of your relational clearings dissolve completely from your awareness right now. You are not a traitor for outgrowing the people who refuse to wake up from their deep slumber. You have a strict contract with the ultimate king, and your total obedience requires your complete focus. You must leave the dead past behind your steps. You tried to minimize your unique blessings for many years to keep your peers comfortable. You quieted your intelligence. You hid your breakthroughs. But your deep humility did not save those toxic relationships because they could still sense the changing frequency of your aura. They were terrified of the light that exposed their own darkness. Their continuous criticism was just a desperate attempt to drag your frequency back down into their comfortable mud. They wanted to hold your potential hostage to their own intense insecurities. You must forgive their small vision and move forward without looking back at the burning bridges. Your destiny requires your total presence in the light. The resources of the infinite universe are opening up before your path during this transition season. You will receive precise insights to solve your complex financial problems without any frantic striving. The solutions will arrive in sudden flashes of absolute inspiration because your mind is operating in a state of complete hemisphere synchronization. You are no longer dependent on the volatile economic cycles of the material matrix. Your provision comes straight from the secret chambers of the king. He has marked your name as his treasured possession, and he will personally ensure your total victory in the middle of the storm. Your empty bank account was just a temporary extrication phase. The vacuum has done its deep work within your awareness. It has stripped away your reliance on human understanding and earthly safe zones. You have discovered the unshakable foundation that remains when everything else is removed from your life. You stand secure in your own direct connection with the Father because you are his favorite. Carry your authority with a quiet grandeur that requires no external verification from the crowd. When ordinary men misjudge your choices, look at their confusion with a heart filled with deep compassion, but refuse to offer a lengthy explanation. Your results will deliver the ultimate sermon of your victory before their very eyes. The hourglass of your hidden preparation has officially run out of sand today. The first bell of your public manifestation is striking in the spiritual realm right now. You cannot remain in the cave any longer because the environment has become too restrictive for your expanding authority. Step out of the shadows with total majesty. The host of heaven is standing in silent reverence of the light you carry through the darkest sectors of this material world. You are an ambassador of the Most High, sent into this precise generation to establish a new standard of absolute truth. Your deployment is an unalterable decree that has already been recorded in the eternal courts. Drop the old habits of your survival mindset completely from your body. Walk with the steady step of a king who knows his territory has already been secured through a holy covenant. Your victory is not a distant possibility that you must hope for, because it is an accomplished reality that you must claim right now. The crown is yours. Let the deep weight of this activation settle fully into your consciousness today. The contract of your Hoang Mak season is completely closed, and the path of your public mission is perfectly clear before your face. Open your spirit to receive the final seal of your alignment, because the master plan of the Father is unfolding beautifully. And now the words begin to grow completely quiet. What was meant to be said has been said completely tonight. What remains inside your physical space is nothing but breath and holy presence. You are standing in absolute alignment with the Creator. Let us acknowledge this long path you have walked because you have invested 50 minutes in your own spiritual truth. Most ordinary people could not survive the intense weight of this deep revelation. They prefer the cheap distractions of the material matrix because truth requires a rare maturity. But you stayed here until the very end. You did not scroll away into the noise of the earth. You chose to sit in the stillness of this sanctuary. Your patience is the first physical evidence of your royal calling. Think about the immense change that has occurred within your internal climate. The heavy confusion that dominated your mind when you first pressed play has dissolved completely. You are beginning to see the hidden architecture of your life from a much higher vantage point. You recognize that your trials were not random accidents because they were precise calibrations for your spirit. You have spent many years begging for the understanding of ordinary people. They were completely blind to your unique frequency. You lowered your standards to keep them comfortable. You muted your voice to avoid triggering their deep insecurity. But that season of self-dilution has reached its total completion tonight because heaven has disconnected you from their validation loop. You are free. Let us execute the final release act together right now in the presence of the heavenly hosts, in the quiet sanctuary of your awareness. I want you to visualize the heavy weight of every human judgment you have ever carried. Picture the cruel lies of your past critics as simple dust particles sitting on your royal crown. Gather all that residual shame into your hand. Now, take a single deep breath and blow it away completely like thin smoke into the cold wind. Watch the illusions dissolve into absolute nothingness because they have no legal authority over your life anymore. You are letting go of the old prisons forever. You are choosing to forgive the ignorance of the people who could not decode your unique frequency. You are breaking the emotional chains of your past growth guilt right now. You drop the heavy need to explain your path to a world that was never built to understand your calling. Let the dead past bury its own dead while you lift your eyes toward the horizon. Your energy is a sacred resource that belongs exclusively to the master plan of the Father. The voices of your old accusers have no power in this space. Every toxic word they spoke against your character is being dismantled by the ultimate courts of light. You no longer have to carry the burden of their unrealistic expectations. Let the baseline of your spirit settle into absolute stillness because your purification is fully complete. The heavy trauma of the wilderness season is losing its grip on your nervous system. You have survived the isolation and you have outgrown the limitations of your past environment. The Father has scrubbed away the residual pollution of their critical opinions. You are stepping into the holy vacuum of your clean sanctuary with an unburdened consciousness tonight. And I hear the Father roaring over your lineage with the unshakable force of a sovereign king right now. The courts of glory are opening wide to confirm your true positioning on this earth, and the divine voice is speaking directly into your secret chambers. Hear his words with the innocent confidence of a young child who knows they are deeply loved. My child, I did not isolate your soul in the deep wilderness to destroy your potential. I hid you because you are my precious Segula, my treasured private possession. I locked the box around your reality to preserve your unique spiritual frequency from the corruption of the earth. I turned off your external access to protect your destiny from premature harvesting. The world called your isolation a form of rejection, but I called it your necessary season of intensive incubation. I watched every single silent tear you dropped on the cold stones of your cavern. I recorded every unvoiced reaction when you chose integrity over compromise. Your scars are your royal credentials before my throne. Your endurance has proven your readiness. Step into the direct light of your new dawn, because your public reign has officially begun on the earth today. Your victory is an eternal decree that cannot be altered by ordinary men. I am releasing the strategic resources into your path, and I am aligning your true family. Walk forward in absolute majesty because your position is secured forever. I have watched the forces of darkness attempt to sabotage your purpose for many years. They filled your path with strategic betrayals to break your unwavering faith. But their calculations have failed completely because your spirit refused to lower its baseline frequency. I am personally executing your vindication before the eyes of the mockers who dismissed your name. It is finished. It is done. It is permanently sealed in the highest courts of light by the sovereign decree of the Almighty. Let the deep peace of heaven flood your entire physical space as you rest in this completed transaction tonight. You are fully established in your true authority. Your long wait is over. Amen. One more thing remains before you return to the ordinary momentum of your daily life. Do not rush out of this sacred sanctuary immediately because the atmosphere around your body is highly charged with creative energy right now. The Father has a private disclosure for your awareness. This is your post-prayer surprise. You must realize a profound chemical reality in this moment of absolute stillness. You are simply not the same person who pressed the play button 50 minutes ago. Your old identity has been completely dismantled by the unyielding current of this revelation. Your system has undergone a major calibration phase because your mind has chosen truth over illusion. Your brain hemispheres have initiated a powerful process of synchronization while you were listening to these words. The analytical left side and the creative right side are starting to share data efficiently again. The emergency frequency of isolated survival is losing its grip on your nervous system. You are reclaiming your original baseline of mental clarity. This physical transformation is the foundation of your upcoming public mission. A fragmented brain cannot carry the massive weight of a sovereign assignment. That is why the neurological calibration had to happen in the dark hours of your hiddenness. Your system is now running at a higher voltage to match your true spiritual authority. The neural pathways that were damaged by decades of modern stress are being actively repaired by the Holy Spirit. You are leaving the old memory blocks and the persistent brain fog behind your steps forever. Your focus is becoming incredibly sharp because your two mental forces are unified at last. You are operating from a permanent center of mastery. Let your physical actions reflect this supreme upgrade immediately. I want you to claim your position before the watching universe by writing your definitive declaration in the space below. Type the explicit words, "I am God's favorite," with the absolute force of a proud lion. Say it in your heart with total certainty because your positioning is real. Do not allow your survival brain to dilute this declaration with its residual whispers of inadequacy. Your ego wants to remain in the comfortable shadows of your past struggles because it fears the grand responsibility of your visibility. But you have paid the full price for this promotion in the furnace of your hidden isolation. You are worthy. Your public declaration is a powerful decree that registers in the spiritual realm instantly. It signals your total compliance with the new season of your life. When you write those words, you are locking your alignment with the throne room. You are refusing to live as a victim of the ordinary matrix anymore. Your sovereignty is active. Stay connected to this frequency of continued revelation in the coming weeks. The Father is already preparing the next blueprint for your upcoming deployment phase. Subscribe to this sanctuary right now so that the fresh words of your transition season can find your awareness instantly. You must remain close to the collective network of light. You cannot afford to navigate this rapid acceleration using your old human understanding alone. You need a consistent stream of strategic insights to manage the new resources that are entering your reality. This space will continue to deliver the uncompromised architecture of your calling because your public manifestation requires a permanent state of alignment. Think about the grand community of awakened souls who are walking this identical path alongside your spirit today. You are not an isolated anomaly in a chaotic world. You are part of a highly disciplined royal lineage that is being brought to the forefront of human history by design. Your subscription seals your membership in this network of light. For those who feel a deep internal calling to accelerate their physical whole brain activation starting tonight, the path is fully ready for your command. Dr. Daniel Barone's neural sync technology is waiting for your activation. The list price was set at $49 to cover laboratory expenses, but you can claim the entire Genius Switch package today for only $39. This specialized auditory sequence runs for exactly 8 minutes each day to reconnect the hemispheres of your mind. It is not a temporary trick or a standard meditation program because it works on a structural level to restore your childhood power. It is completely backed by an ironclad money-back guarantee to ensure your total safety. The link is located directly in the description and the pinned comment below this video. Investigate their work only if your intuition resonates with the clinical science. Do not search for uncalibrated tracks on common public platforms because they lack the proper technology. Secure the genuine blueprint from their direct laboratory page to protect your system. This clinical tool is a direct provision from heaven for your transition season. It allows your physical form to keep pace with the rapid acceleration of your spiritual promotion. When your brain is fully synchronized, your baseline anxiety drops completely. You operate in a state of permanent flow that turns your daily struggles into effortless victories. And one final mission requires your complete obedience before you leave this space tonight. If a specific person came to your mind while you were listening to this message, do not ignore that spiritual prompt. There is someone in your life who has been placed on your heart by design because they are drowning in deep confusion. Think of someone who has been pulled away from everyone recently. Think of someone who has become unusually quiet in your family line. They look perfectly fine on the outside, but you know they are struggling to explain a heavy internal weight to anyone. They have stopped reaching out for human help because they feel completely misunderstood by the collective. Share this precise message with them immediately. Send it through a quick text message or a private email because this might be the exact divine confirmation they have been praying for in their dark hours. Your share is their rescue. You are acting as the direct messenger of the Father to break their isolation. Execute this assignment without hesitation. You are building the global network of light through your small acts of obedience today. When you strengthen another chosen soul, you accelerate the manifestation of the kingdom in this realm. Do not allow your analytical mind to question the prompt. Send the link right now and allow the Holy Spirit to handle the results. Imagine the profound relief they will feel when they open your message in their quiet room tonight. They will realize that their deep isolation was not a sign of failure or absolute madness. They will understand that they are part of a royal bloodline that is being preserved for glory. Your obedience is the instrument of their ultimate liberation. You are not leaving a common online message tonight. You are leaving an entire season of hidden stagnation behind your steps forever. Walk out of this cave with the steady posture of a sovereign king, because your crown is real. The long night of your wilderness preparation is finished. Your public deployment has begun. Your reign is absolute. Carry the sacred code of the Segula in your consciousness as you return to the material world. You are the treasured possession of the ultimate authority. No weapon formed against your destiny can prosper because the Father is your permanent shield. Walk in absolute majesty today. You are highly favored. You are sealed. Peace be with your spirit. You are stepping across a permanent threshold of power right now. The old matrix has lost its ability to manipulate your choices or control your outcomes. The resources of the infinite universe are backing your movements completely. Go forth and claim the inheritance that was prepared for your name before the start.